And, and we're live. LOL.
Hey guys, we got the
I'll,
lobby tonight. I'm filling in for G Web's hosting the lobby, so
Das ist nicht dein Problem.
yep.
man, I don't have a whole lot to talk about.
Yeah, I was watching a bit of Stone Guy's chat, and I was like, we've talked about this. Let's talk about, you know what we need? We need some great, world-changing event going on so we can talk about that. But right now it's boring. Nothing's really happening other than,
None
a
of
couple
us
of
are into
wars,
soccer,
but,
so we can't talk about that.
Yeah, Iraq
Although
scared me.
actually, that
yeah,
could turn
Iraq,
into a war depending on who wins
yeah.
and who loses.
Russia just cut off Ukraine's gas supply. Europeans all of a sudden are thinking, well, maybe we were too hasty talking about that dirty, tar sands crude oil. Russia is not going to sell us anything. Maybe we better rethink that. So yeah, which would be, all right. I would just as much, sell my gas to anyone but China. Right now, they're going to ship it all to China. It's like, damn it. Just let's refine it here, turn it into gasoline. Hey, put it into big tanks with fuel stabilizer. We're going to need it eventually.
Yeah, keep it in the freaking country.
Yeah, no shit. Well, I don't understand why they want, even they were talking that pipeline through that Keystone pipeline. They're talking, well, we're going to run this through to the refineries in Texas. And I'm like, what the fuck sense is it? We have refineries in Canada. We have refineries in Alberta and Saskatchewan. They would need to get much bigger, but hey, why not? That's jobs, right? Building them, jobs running them. Then we're refining. We're not shipping raw product. We're shipping refined product. So we're going to send gas and diesel out. Makes more sense to me because it's a more efficient shipping. Right? It's easier to pump gas, and whether you're going to haul it in trucks or whether you're going to have a pipeline just for gas. But then it's not dirty crude going down there. It's nice, nice clean gasoline with no methanol. We don't put methanol in our gas. Well, you can buy it if you really want to. There's one chain of service stations that sells, ethanol. You guys, I think, use methanol, but anyway, they use ethanol up here.
Yeah, we
And
use
yeah,
all.
it's not
They're
bad in the winter.
actually some stations are running ethanol now at more than 10%. So you got to actually read the pumps before you actually pump.
Oh yeah, I mean that's not great
Yeah,
shit. I mean we don't.
E85 or whatever.
Yeah. See, we got this service station chain called Mohawk. I think it's Mohawk. But anyway, their selling point is that they have 10% ethanol, which means that in the winter your fuel won't freeze up. Because what happens in the winter is you get water condenses in your fuel tank, and then that'll plug up your fuel lines and it'll freeze your engine up, and that's it. You're not getting fuel to the engine. It's not running. And that's a fairly common problem. So here, a lot of people in the winter, when they fill their gas tank, they'll take a bottle of ethanol alcohol and pour it in with the gasoline to keep the gasoline from freezing, or from to keep the water that's in the gas naturally. There's always some moisture in the gas to keep it from freezing. Bizarre, but anyway, I digress. Yeah, it would make more sense to sell the pure product, the finished product, rather than the raw product. And I don't get why we want to build pipelines to pump crude oil. It doesn't make sense. Plus, nobody wants it. Why are governments like that? Our government's pushing for this, and your government they kind of want people down in Texas want it because it means more jobs at the refineries down there. But it creates jobs as you build the pipeline. But I still don't understand how they can look at that and logically think that's a good idea. I'll leave it there.
It's all about where the money's going.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's the problem. Yeah, it'd be nice if governments and politicians worked with logic instead of just.
Agreed?
Yeah.
That is very true.
But
And Bob, why are you wearing flannel? It's almost the middle of summer up in Canada.
yeah, no, my bunker's cold, and it's been raining all week. It's been shitty. I've been waiting to take my drum out to do a 100-round mag dump, and I'm just like and it's rained every freaking day.
Drum for what?
Huh? I got
Mag
a I got a drum for my Ruger 1022.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 110 round GSW mag, which is pretty cool. 100 rounds to 22 is pretty nasty.
That's almost as good as 1 round of buckshot.
Yeah, a little better. Yeah,
What
like about
nine?
12 rounds of buckshot altogether.
Yeah, 9 double-aught buck is what, equivalent to 9 millimeter roughly?
Are they
Yep.
coming out the same velocity?
No, well, yeah. Well, 22's got a lot of velocity. You look at 22, and they're moving it like, especially the rounds I use, they're 1,100
1,200.
feet per second. Yeah, 1,100, 1,200 feet per second. So I mean, that's decent velocity.
But they do lose their velocity pretty quick.
Yeah, but I mean, it's. I just got a EOTech type sight on the Ruger, so I mean, it's 100 yards is about where I'm going to look at shooting it. But at 100 yards, if you can pile 100 rounds into a 10-inch circle, I just want to do a mag dump like that too. I mean, I've done the 25 round Butler ones. They're just not, they're satisfying, but not like just shooting until your fingers actually getting tired.
We'll see if my trigger finger gets tired at that class in September.
Well, what I also want to try out my if my paintball finger technique on the trigger will work. They used to get pretty fast with that paintball gun. I'm thinking, you won't be accurate, but who the fuck cares? Nothing else will scare the crap out of people. It just looks so fucking badass. I should get it out. Because it really does look neat. Oh, my son says that looks stupid.
Well, he's your son, after all.
Who did that?
He just saw how fire alarms look in a video game.
Oh. Yeah.
Somebody watching a chat and their mic's on?
What, are you drunk or something?
Panther has to be it. I'm not. I just double checked.
No. No, I don't have any other chat on.
He's hearing an echo.
Oh, I think it might have been me.
I'm excited. My paracord and ball bearings arrived tomorrow. I can start making monkey fists. And I have a couple nice heavy steel cylinders with the teeny tiny hole in the middle that came from electric motors. That I'm anxious to try, see if I can actually tie those into a monkey fist. I don't know if I can, but I'm gonna sure as hell try.
I don't see why you shouldn't be able to.
Yeah, I figure those things are gonna be pretty darn heavy, so. Which means I'm gonna have to go and buy a watermelon or something. And see
Some
how well
work
each different
smash.
one works. Yeah, see which one works the best.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep, I got one large lead fishing weight I'll put in there.
That's what I picked up for my Ruger 1022.
Yeah.
I just think these things are badass.
Yep, I got a 4-ounce lead fishing weight. I wonder how that's going to work. It's a teardrop design, you know?
Oh, for your monkey fists.
Yeah, well, I found one, so I'm saving it to try there instead of recycling it.
Oh yeah, well, they should work all right. You can buy those at fishing shops for cheap, you know.
Yeah, I know, but I had it. I found it, so.
Ah,
I've been cleaning out the basement. Finding a lot of stuff to get rid of.
you mean shoot?
Stuff that's been there for I don't know how long.
Oh, you know,
I
I just
found a saber saw. Get this, a skill, a skill saber saw
jigsaw. You
from
mean, or
the 60s that doesn't work in its case in the. Why do you hold on to something like that that doesn't work? That's 50 something. Well, my would have been like almost 50 years old. You were thinking about getting it.
because it probably only needed brushes, and he was just going to pick up the brushes one day,
No,
and they were only like $10, for a set of brushes.
no. I actually when I took it apart, because I recycle, I took it
Well,
apart. The
that's
brushes
probably
were
why it
fine.
doesn't work anymore, Quark.
No, it worked before I took it apart. It didn't work before I took it apart. Excuse me. And I did check the brushes before I took it apart, and they were almost brand new brushes, so it was barely used.
Yeah.
I checked all the all the connections, and even before I even did that, I rewired it. Before I scrapped it, I rewired it, tried again, thinking maybe it was a cord. It wasn't the cord.
Yeah. Well, but he might not have known that, right? So he might have said, "Oh, well, it's probably just the brushes. I'll get around to it one day. I'll maybe keep it as a backup. I'll buy a new one, and I'll keep this one, and I'll get around to putting the fix in it." Because I know I'm terrible for that.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just finding a whole bunch of stuff. Like, why did you keep this?
Mm-hmm.
I can understand keeping some stuff for a little while, but there's some stuff like, why did you even keep this? Period.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to going in the crawl space and cleaning that out. That is gonna be a chore.
Is there actually stuff in the crawl space?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
It's actually a cement floor crawl space, so it's not like it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
like one of this gravel filled.
How high is it?
Not very high. When I get in there, my hands and knees, I'm almost brushing the light bulbs. That just
Okay, so that's pretty low. It's maybe 2 feet, 3 feet.
nah. I'm guessing it's like 3.5.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty tight.
Yeah, and it's pretty tight in there, and I need knee pads before I can go in there. My knees will not be able to take that floor.
Oh yeah.
That's not going to be fun because there's a lot of stuff in there, including a freaking metal bed frame, almost like a freaking cot, for like a smaller than a single-size bed. It's just a metal with the springs running across it. I'm like, why is that? I could see it all the way in the back. Why is that in there still?
Because yeah. Also, you didn't tend to throw stuff out in the old days like you do now, because stuff was built to, maybe the mattress got pissed on or something, and they said, well, we'll just buy another mat. If we need it again, we'll save the frame and we'll just have to buy a mattress.
Yeah, well, this thing literally goes on the floor. It's actually on wheels.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I remember my parents had one like that. It was for one company. If you had relatives come visiting, because back in those days nobody stayed in a hotel. If you were coming to visit,
okay. I didn't
you
think
stayed in
about
the house,
that.
right? So and it would fold up. So
This
it was
doesn't fold up.
Yeah. Oh, the one we had would fold up, but it was like metal springs and a mattress. But I mean, yeah, it was just something you'd use if you had company coming. You could fold this thing out in the corner of the living room, and they would have a place to crash.
Yeah, I'm not looking at getting that over there, and then I'm going to have to scrap it. So,
Yeah. Well, it's true. I mean, there's not a whole lot else you could do it unless you had a yard sale and some guy came. Oh, that's an antique such and such. I'll give you $1,000 for it, son.
nah,
You
all the
go,
stuff I'm
nah.
looking at
Maybe nice.
is,
You're
not-
crawling around.
is
You found a case back in the back, a fairly long case, and you open it up, and there's a match set of Purdy shotguns.
that will never happen.
It
Yeah.
No,
might have
my
been some
father.
like uncle you'd never heard about who left them to your father. Your black sheep uncle or something. That was his only worldly possessions, and they went to his nearest relative. That was your father, who just went shit and threw it down there.
Yeah. Well, I recently got rid of the bookcase that was in the basement. Well, it wasn't really a bookcase. It would. It's still, it was a shelving unit, but the frickin' feet were rotted on it, and the feet were steel, but the rest was aluminum. So
Oh
I
yeah.
scrapped, besides the wood shells, I scrapped all the aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the steel, but I got the wood still. But
Build
why was
out
that?
of the wood.
Yeah. Like, why did you bother keeping this? Nothing was stored on it.
Yeah. Was it?
Yeah, it
Well,
was set up in the basement. Well, it was set up, and then he took it down for some reason. The feet rotted off,
probably
or
was
I
like
should say, rusted off.
rusted. Yeah.
I think maybe it was just because it was too big. I had to cut the pieces in half to get in the car.
I tell you, my brother's got a great big gun safe sitting in the living room of his house because it's too big to get into his basement. He bought it without thinking about that. So it wouldn't go down the basement stairs, or he has to take the stairs out to get it in. He's going to have to hire a crew to do it because he's like, in his 60s, mid 60s. But meanwhile, while it's been in the living room, he thought as long as it's there, so he's filled it with handguns. He's like kind of as bad as Yankee, but more, blued instead of all the shiny silvery stuff. And yeah, so he's filled it with handguns. So he's like, "Oh crap! Now I got to empty it when I go to move it down the stairs because it's even heavier now." It's like an 800-pound safe or something stupid. I don't know.
Although
Yeah.
I did today pick up a wine refrigerator that was literally, I was on the way there, and it was literally one block out of my way to where I was going because the dog chewed on the cord.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to rewire that and see what I can do with it.
Mm.
It's a wine refrigerator. It's not huge. It's like a little mini fridge, but still.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey.
Rewire it and maybe you'll sell it.
Yep.
If it keeps stuff cool, maybe it stopped keeping stuff cool and they unplugged and then the dog chewed the cord.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But it could be that it worked, and the dog chewed the cord, and then they went, "Oh well, we'll get around to fixing that."
Yep.
I got tons of shit like that I'm gonna get around to fixing, or I'm going to utilize parts of it. I had a 24-volt drill somewhere that I was going to use the motor to juice up my bicycle, so I wouldn't have to pedal.
Well, I do have a new thing to smash and cut stuff on now.
Hmm?
Makes me happy.
Yeah, you got something to a new table you built, or?
No, mini fridge.
Oh,
that
the
I
mini
that
fridge.
yeah,
Oh.
the mini fridge. I finally got around to tearing apart because the seal was gone and didn't have any. It didn't have any Freon left in the tank.
Yeah, and Freon's hard to get now.
Yeah, I did snip the cord. I'm waiting for a little hiss. Like there wasn't even pressure in it. So
Yeah.
oh well.
Yeah, because anytime you can free Freon into the environment, that's a good thing.
Exactly.
Global warming, man. If you live in a colder climate, you keep hoping it's going to happen.
Well, yeah, I knew this didn't work because it literally was room temperature after running. Well, it was actually above room temperature after running.
Yeah, that's the bad sign.
Yeah. So I figured there had to be like a little pinhole leak somewhere along the line.
Probably, yeah. That's what usually happened to them.
So the Freon was released anyway.
Yeah.
And it was the backup to the backup mini fridge, so.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I still have the one I had in my college dorm room.
I just
It was
had
actually it's a step above the mini fridge.
Oh, yeah. That's had a really neat thought. Instead of shooting my laptop with a shotgun, I'm thinking maybe I should do a 100-round mag dump on it.
There you go.
That would be kind of cool. I could hang it
By
up.
the way, take your hard drive out of there. You can get a couple of neodymium magnets out of that before you go shooting.
We'll get them out afterwards. Actually, no. Do I have?
You might
Yeah,
want
the hard
to.
drive's hooped in this one, but yeah, I just wouldn't want to bother. It wouldn't bother. I took the battery out of it, but other than that, yeah.
Battery? Did somebody say battery?
Yeah, the bat tree.
What's wrong
Where
with
bats
that?
hang off of. That's a bat tree.
Oh, you guys call it a battery.
Yes.
Sounds like you're beating somebody up. Yeah, I got my battery. I'm gonna put it in my flashlight. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
Those little neodymium magnets in hard drive are so much fun to play with.
Eh.
They're not as cool as the magnets you get out of a microwave, though.
Yeah, but I got probably a dozen hard drives I could scrounge magnets out of. I don't really need to
Okay.
bother with this one. And then
Yeah.
this is a laptop. They're tiny hard drives. I get
Yeah,
big.
and I'm gonna warn people right now: if you take apart a microwave for the magnets, be very careful because there are radioactive elements that
Yes,
the magnets are right near, and you cannot
but
inhale that at dust.
look at what happened when Spider-Man got radiation, huh? He got superpowers.
Yeah, now it's a DNA mutation.
And look at what happened when Mayor Adam West tried to roll in toxic and nuclear waste. He got leukemia. You remember that
Yeah.
episode?
Yeah.
No.
Well, the nice thing about the microwave magnets, they're super strong. And I had an old broom handle, so I taped one onto the end of the broom handle. Now I don't have to pick up anything that's magnetic. I just boop.
Hey, right back.
Yeah, no more bending over. It's freaking awesome. Give her drop a a screw or a bolt somewhere you just can't quite reach, or too lazy to bend over. That's all you need is one of those.
Oh, Quark, remember me telling you about that Benchmade?
Yep.
Yep, right there it is. It finally came in.
Ah, cool. Congrats, man.
Yeah, it's... I really like these G10 grips on there.
Yeah, that's kind of neat looking.
Is that an auto
Is it a what?
or just a flipper?
Just a flipper, but it's assisted. So, I mean, once you get it to a
Okay.
certain point, it just clicks right out.
Yeah, like any of the assisted openers, those are awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, hell, $89. You can't beat it. Not for a Benchmade.
How much? $9?
No.
$89.
No, that is a great deal. Even without the access slot, that's a great deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss the days where you could actually buy one for 20% off the list price on websites. Actually got my Griptilian just a few days before that actually went into effect. They had removed the coupon codes. So I just got in on time, and if I had more money, I would have picked up another one or two.
Right.
But I didn't have the money, so I couldn't pick up one or two more. I had to settle for one. Because Benchmade does make some awesome those. And that's the reason why I went with the Ganzo 712, because it's a copy of the one I wanted to get, which is the Bedlam, the Benchmade Bedlam. That one was the Chinese clone that has to do. I was just having trouble shelling out. I think their list price like $185.
Ouch.
Right, I mean their normal price online is like $185. 20% off of that would have been nice. Stupid state laws that can't have any autos.
Tell you what, that auto I got, that auto Benchmade Harley Davidson, man, that thing is heavy. I mean,
Yeah.
I've never, had a knife that heavy before.
Yeah, well, the reason I say this because, like a couple weeks ago, Bolker was selling, well, one was selling a Bolker Kalishnikov, not the limited edition, but the auto version for $25.
Oh crap!
Yeah, exactly. That's what you get limited edition for right now. Just the normal flipper. I'm like, damn, man, and I can't buy it because my state won't allow me to. Even though the website wouldn't allow me to order it, I'm sure I would have been kicked back.
Right.
So we can't ship to you. And I still think Volker is actually doing a nice deal on their sales. If you want a limited edition Volker, I'm broke right now, so I can't even buy this. If you want a limited edition Kalishnikov, they do come in a really cool box too.
They still got that going on?
Yeah, they got this going on for, I don't know if it's through this month or, I think it's through this month only, or like to the 28th or something. Yeah, I think it's
crap.
through the 20th. Yeah, $25. I think they charge like $7 or $8 shipping.
Hey, check
Limited
out this.
limited to 650 pieces. So, and they do come, and this is the cool part. They actually come in a box that looks like an AK magazine. You know, shrunken down for the knife, but still, it's the same
Right.
thing.
Well, I mean, hell, the grips on there. It's got those 3 little spots in there, almost like the ribs on a magazine.
Mm-hmm. I think they do a
that's
good job
nice.
making that knife. Yeah, it's a nice little knife. They got a couple different versions. They got an unlimited edition. That's like $18, I think. I mean, there is nothing spectacular about the steel or anything. It's Oz 8. It's in a shorter knife too. It's only 2.5 inches, but still, it's Oz 8, which is a decent entry-level steel. And it's a limited edition. And it's me,
Yeah.
almost had me buying one.
Yeah, I'm not that I don't know. I'm not that big into collecting that kind of shit. I'd rather get something that I can shoot and play with. You see, this is a ripoff, man. They're like this. Oh, I used to really like this website for guns and stuff, but now I'm like, oh come on, $1,800. Like, fuck.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. I don't know what makes it so.
Because it's legal. Because the
Oh.
RCMP say this one was made before the. I think it's 2000. 2007 or something. If it was made after 2007, it's one of the ones they say could be converted to a machine gun.
Oh god.
I know.
I thought maybe it was special because it came with the factory targets and everything else.
Oh well, that's nice, but I mean that's still not $1,800 nice. I mean, back when I used to own
$1,900
one,
nice.
back when I used to own one, when I first bought it, it came with all the same stuff as this gun they're advertising, and it was like $649.
Dang.
Yeah. So that's a ripoff. I guess it's if they can get away, if somebody will pay the price.
There you go, Bob. Look at that one.
Oh, let me see here. Oh, there we go. Oh, I know. I mean, you guys got them so freaking cheap down there. Oh, for God's sakes. Yep.
But
$3,
we can
$3.99.
get it for $400, but we cannot get a VZ58.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, I'd rather have the SVT 40 if you ask me.
Yeah, SVT4. That was the other one I was trying to think of.
Yeah,
Those are big.
the SVT-40 shoots beautifully, but so does the VZ-58. I just kind of like it.
Yeah. Well, both of those down here are basically almost as much as your frickin' when you posted here for us. So
Well, not
Yeah.
the VZs aren't, but the SVT40, sure.
yeah,
I mean, this collector source, they've got some really neat shit. I mean, you can buy MG34s on it, and in Canada, because they use a cloth belt, you don't have the magazine restrictions, so you can. And it's only semi-auto, but I mean, it's a semi-auto MG34 that you can put a 100-round belt on. But they got some, I mean, they've got some neat shit, and some of it isn't bad prices. This is just them gouging, as far as I can see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they've had Browning high powers that were, 1935 Browning high power, which is like the early first production runs almost. I think they won like $900 for it. And it had been Arsenal refinished. It had an original Canadian slide and barrel, which were, because the English ones were a little bit better, so that was a bonus. It was a shooter, eh? But it'd be nice to have a nice Browning high power shooter.
Right.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's just to have it in your collection.
Yeah, well, I'd use it because I shoot everything I own.
Yeah.
I mean, I had some cars that people said, oh, you shouldn't drive those. There's so few of them, and it was like, oh, fuck that. Of course, those were the ones that are always getting wrecked. But I got
our cars.
Yeah, I got a Ranchero that's considered it's a magnet for getting some shit smashed into it, and it's usually like dumbass women and stuff, or oh god, it just drives me crazy. It's been wrecked 3 times, and I put 5,000 miles on it, and like none of those were my fault. It was like people pulling over to the shoulder of the road and pulling a U-turn without looking in their mirror. I'd be right behind them. I'm like,
Let's see.
fuck.
maybe you're in when you're in that car.
And that was the thing is, there's been times when I've been pushing that thing, but none of the accidents were ever times when I was like speeding or driving, like doing drifting around corners, because it did drifting really cool. 429 kind of means you can light the tires anytime you want. Does get a little hard on tires though.
Hey, Tactical, get your ass in here. Tactical's out there. Same with you, Neon, if you get a chance. But what was I gonna say? I forced myself to watch World War Z today, the unrated version. Oh my god, what a horrible movie!
Oh yeah, I watched that on that was a bad zombie movie.
Yeah, it was on frickin' Netflix, and it was horrible.
Yeah,
The premise behind it's horrible.
Here you go. Here's a nice handgun that's not an unreasonable price that I would, buy, but I mean I would shoot it. To me, that's just it's just what you do with guns, right? Let me see, here it is. There. But it's a nice 1911. It's got some history to it. Basically a standard Colt government model, so I mean it's gonna shoot good. A little pricey, but that's not too bad. $2,000 for a bit of history that you can shoot.
$3,000.
Not $3,000, $2,000, don't matter. 1,000 here, 1,000 there ain't meaning too much anymore.
Well, if you're a 1%er like Cooper, yes.
Well, I'm not a 1%er, but I mean it's still.
Yeah. Ralph uses $100 bills as toilet
I
paper.
can go buy a camper for $2,000 and I can just put cash on it, right? Because we have savings in a bank account that's just for shit like that. But because you don't want to ever use the credit.
Now, is a Canadian Colt still considered a Colt? I mean, where's Yankee on this discussion?
Canadian Colt?
A Canadian Colt.
Yeah, it's
Colt.
still a Colt because it's government contract. Canadian contract is still a Colt. They just made them here in the States and shipped them to Canada.
Yeah, they made 100 Singer Canada, like Singer the sewing machine company in Canada during the war, they made 100 Colt 45s before they realized no American production can do enough. We don't have to build them here. We'll get you to build something else, you know. And those are some of the most valuable Colt 45s you can buy.
Of course, there's only 100 of them. Of course.
Yeah. Ooh, here's that Browning
It's-
high power. This is no, it's not the one. This one's a little more money than the one I was looking at, but this is the kind of thing that I would think, you know, yeah, that'd be something to buy and just take out to the range once in a while. Mostly, it's going to just sit, you know, in the safe, but every once in a while you take it out to exercise it.
Oh yeah.
It'd be a perfectly good shooting gun.
Well, it's a nice condition.
Yeah.
Yeah, and isn't that like, I mean, imagine that's a 1935 design. That could pass for something fairly modern, eh?
Yeah, 1970s look to it.
Yep. Yeah, wonderful. Like that was Browning's last design. That's one of the reasons I really like it. That and it was, you know, Canada's handgun during the war for, you know, a lot of the guys. They used a lot of Colt 45s too, and then some really crappy Webley revolvers. My brother's got one of the Webley tanker pistols, and I'm just thinking to myself, I can just imagine when they hand this to a guy, a tanker, and go, there you go, you know, if your tank gets blown up, you can defend yourself with this. And he's like, okay, it's 38 Smith & Wesson, which is maybe kind of an anemic 380. And it's got like a 28-pound trigger pull, double action only. It's like, oh, good, if I run up to him and push it in the back of his neck and empty it, I might kill him.
Yeah, I got a question for you, Bob. Let me
Yeah.
see. Oh, come on. There we go. Since you're the Browning person in here right now, you see this right here?
The
It's
serrations?
almost well. It's almost like there's a piece in there that actually comes out.
Oh, yeah. I never looked at that. It does. It does look like there's a shape in there. You're right.
I mean,
I don't know. Like I said,
I've never really been around Browning high power, so I don't know if there might be like a safety selector that fits in there or what. I've never.
I don't know, man. I'm looking at like I've only shot them a couple times, and I've really go through them. I've never had a chance to take them apart and clean them and play with them. I don't know.
It's pretty interesting though.
Yeah,
Come on, G-Webs. Well, not G-Webs.
it's quite interesting that like with the high power, it looks almost like it could be a double action pistol. And of course, the later versions were, I think CZ and a couple other people or companies have made versions of the P35 that actually has a double action trigger. But you know, that's a 13 round magazine. Well, no, it wouldn't be for me, but just when I come down to the States in the winter.
Yeah,
bring
that's
it
a
with
better
me.
picture of it. Yeah, it's almost like there's a removable piece right there.
Yeah, it does. It looks like there is. Wonder if that's part of the takedown.
Don't know.
If there's something that, you know, if that, how you'd even, because it looks like it's in you know the same height as the breech and everything.
Right.
Or the I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up. There's got to be some.
Yeah, there's nothing on that side.
That side, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, because right there's a safety, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's got a safety like pretty much like a Colt, eh? I think it's really neat though. It's a gun that came out way back when, and it held 13 rounds of 9mm.
Right.
And nowadays it holds 15.
Pardon?
Nowadays it holds 15.
Hmm. course, I guess you could get Mauser broom handles back in the day that had enhanced magazines, but they loaded off stripper clips. Still, I mean, once you get to use it, get to know how to use a stripper clip, and you get good at it, they're actually fairly quick. I seen a guy with a bullpup conversion of SKS run and gun course, and he was using stripper clips on it, and man, it seemed to work just great for him. I just got to keep track of your rounds a little more. Well, yeah, that does look like that's something that pops out.
Yeah,
How in the hell would you pop it out?
that I don't know. Unless, oh, yeah, I don't know anything about the Brownings. I mean, that wouldn't be anything to do with the extractor, would it? That would be more up here.
You would think, yeah. I don't know. I've never even noticed that before.
It might be something that pops out to get at something in the internal, or who knows? I'm not 100% sure.
Hey,
Yeah.
G-Webs, you're in the lobby. You know a
Is
little
he?
bit more about it than we do, so if you know what this is, let us know.
Yeah. You got some whacked guns here, though. That's that.
That's a nice looking gun, though, especially
Yeah.
for the age.
Yep.
Yep, I think they're beautiful pistols.
Yep.
I'm pissed. Speaking of guns, my heat gun stopped working today.
Oh yeah.
Still heats up. It's just the motor shot.
Doesn't blow.
Yep.
Oh, that would suck.
Oh well. I'll have to buy a new one.
This place sells ordnance. It's deactivated, but you know, kind of neat. 20 millimeter, 25-pounder brass casing.
That's cool. Our government sells that stuff. What they sell that stuff as must be mutilated before it's taken off. Yep.
Well, this stuff, well, some of it's, I mean, it's got holes drilled through it or something. But yeah, 40 millimeter ferret round barricade penetrating projectile for practice.
Hey Bob, how much would you think 200,000 pounds of lead will go for?
What?
Our government has these bids on stuff.
Oh.
They got 200,000 pounds of lead they're selling as one batch.
200,000 pounds of lead.
Yep. Used like in ballast for ships or
Yeah.
submarines
Yeah.
or something.
Could still be used for making bullets, I bet.
Yeah. Definitely last a young person a lifetime plus.
Oh yeah. You can buy a cannonball here. It's a 12-pounder, diameter 4.5 inches, weight 11 pounds. Reportedly found near Kingston, possibly War of 1812.
Ooh, that's cool.
$125.
That's cool.
I know, that's kind of neat. Original German
Metal.
World War II anti-tank weapon, and it's a Panzerfaust.
Ooh.
Yeah, German Panzerfaust for $995.
Well, you watch those metal detecting videos, like I watch this View,
Yeah.
Onameti, or whatever his name is. But yeah, he finds all these, Civil War artillery shells. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
it must be nice to live where he lives and be able to go out and go look for that stuff.
Well, I often think that about like people who live in Ontario and stuff, where the War 1812 and stuff was fought, whereas all I've got is a Métis uprising where it was near the end the Métis were shooting handfuls of gravel out of their smoothbore muskets because they didn't have more bullets, and they were getting hit with Gatling guns and small cannon, little bit little bit, yeah, maybe not the same class. You know, when you got a bunch of, it was basically militants because they wanted their own country, or not their own country, their own province, I guess.
Here you go,
Yeah.
Quark. $1.50 a pound.
Well, what? $1.50 a pound?
Yeah.
60 cents a pound, I think, is the scrap price on it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
That
Lord.
fluctuates. It depends where you're going. Soft lead here. Yeah, the reason I brought in a whole bunch of crap because I was cleaning up the basement, so I brought a whole bunch of stuff in. I only had one little piece of lead I brought in, it was 60 cents a pound, but last week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, when I ever did the last one was 80 cents a pound. Amazing how much it weighs. It doesn't take much to be a pound.
Right. Yeah, apparently this guy has got, I don't know, I mean, a crap load.
It looks like it's been refined.
Yeah, he smelted it down.
Here's another nice one.
Yeah, because
Well,
this
you
guy was
gotta
going to
get-
get 100 pounds off of him.
Yeah, if you think about it, if he's getting those from wheel weights or there's other contaminants in wheel weights, you got to smelt it down and saves a lot of people a lot of time anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you still end up having to melt it, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, still, you don't have to scrape the contaminants off.
Yeah. Every time you melt it, you can get a little bit.
I know you're gonna get a little bit. I'm saying you don't have to deal with that whole thing. You're not
Yeah.
going through, a 5-gallon bucket of wheel weights and
Mm. Yeah, in that
scrapping
case,
it
that's
off.
when you're going to do the production of the lead, those kind of ingots, whatever. Yeah, because the only time I melt lead is I take the bird shot that I've taken from the cheap, number 7 skeet rounds, melt it down and make it into slugs, so I can take it to my rifle range doesn't allow you to shoot like bird shot and stuff. You got to shoot slugs. So I don't want to, pay $5 for 5 slugs. I'd rather pay $6 for a box of 25.
Oh yeah, I mean that makes a
With
whole lot of sense.
with a little, plus they shoot really soft.
You see, for me, I'd just rather make wax slugs,
Yeah, they wouldn't allow those either.
bastards.
They wouldn't know you were doing it. I mean, I've gone out there and like on the 22 range, I found all these shotgun hulls, where people were shooting shotguns in the 22 range, and destroying the little pop-up targets. It's like, hey, you guys are fucking idiots.
Yeah, they're like that at every range. Even membership ranges are assholes like that just ruin it for everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to find a good piece of crown land I can go out on, and I'm trying to find a good place I can go out and cut some firewood. Well, actually, I won't do it. I'll make my children do it, because that's why you have children. But while we're out there, in order to make it a little more fun for them, I was thinking, well, it'd be nice if we could get to a place where we could take the 22s and the shotguns and maybe do a little bit of shooting in between chopping down. You can only take dead trees, but I mean, we got so much crown land here, you can just like drive down a dirt road and find like a huge forest, and you walk 100 feet into the bush, and you've got like a truckload of dead stuff, nicely dried, naturally dried, standing up. So yeah, it makes good firewood, and it's free.
Always nice.
Well, I mean, it's free except for the labor of the children, which means I have to buy them ammo so they can shoot, because they're going to have to want to shoot as much as they do any work. But yeah, same time we'll take the dog out too and let him go and catch some skunks. Then the kids have another job to do when we get home.
Catch
Shampoo
skunks.
the dog.
That seems like you're penalizing yourself in that one, Bob.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we won't take the dog.
I mean,
yeah, I mean,
skunks are normally asleep during the day. They're not
Yeah.
cow.
Yeah, I know skunks are nocturnal. They come out in the day all the time. I used to see them all the time.
Well, I never
Yes.
see them during the day.
Oh, I have lots. Be riding out across the pasture, going check on the cows or something, and there's a skunk waddling along, and half the time they're rabid, or at least carrying rabies. So yeah, you always just pop them.
What gets me are the people that keep skunks as pets.
Well, I guess if you get them descented, they're not bad pets. I remember I caught a little baby one. Well, I killed the whole family, just kept one of the little baby ones, and I was going to take it home, but it wasn't quite as young as I thought it was, because when they're young, they don't spray, eh? He sprayed in my pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, flipped him on the ground and blew him apart with a 20 gauge. And oh, I was a mean child.
Oh my gosh.
Well, no, I mean they were varmints. I mean, like I was walking through the bush and saw a skunk, so I had my 20 gauge because I was just walking through the bush shooting, shit, birds, trees, whatever. And so I killed the skunk, and then it's got a bunch of babies. Well, can't let them suffer. So I, kind of went, oh well, maybe I'll take one, and keep it as a pet. And then I, blew the rest of them apart. Took the, like I said, I was carrying the baby home, found out it wasn't quite that small, and decided no, it would make a good pet. Too smelly.
Well, I'm going to say this. You think of, ferrets, which get descented.
Yep.
You ever smell, if you ever smell a descended ferret, they do stink.
Oh yeah, not as
The
bad
same
as
with
a hairless
skunks.
cat. You know what? Honest to God, I have friends who have a hairless cats, and they stink so freaking bad.
That's because they're not being bathed enough.
Well, no, you have to bathe them every day.
Exactly.
Well, imagine having to bathe a cat every freaking day. I mean, you know how
Normally,
many bandages you'd go through?
Normally, hairless cats do like water.
Eh. I've seen one cat that liked water. My brother had a cat that would get in the shower with you. Kind of weird. But yeah, that was the only
None
cat
of my
I've ever
cats
seen like
really
water.
like getting wet, but they do like playing with water.
Oh yeah, I have one cat that he won't drink water unless it's moving. So if he's got water in a bowl, he has to spin the bowl a few times so the water's moving, and then he'll drink it.
Yeah, my cats are the same way. They actually paw at the bowl to get it moving, and then they drink it.
Yeah, no, that's what he does, but he spins the bowl, which of course puts water everywhere. We used to blame the dog, but yeah. Then we figured out, no, it's the cat.
It's way too warm here.
Yeah, it's not warm here. It's, okay, but not.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. We go from high 60s yesterday to high 80s today, and then the low tonight's actually going to be the same high temperatures we had yesterday. So
yeah, see, and we're getting it's been all drizzly and rainy here. Like not bad, but just miserable gray. Pretty much rains once a day.
Well, that's what we have coming through. We're
Made
going to
the
have rain
mistake.
the rest of the week. Today was the only nice day weather-wise for the rest of the week.
Yeah, I made the mistake about a week ago of fertilizing my lawn because it was looking kind of brown.
Ha ha ha!
And now it
3
looks like
feet high.
hugely green, and like it's fucking okay. If it gets much taller, I'm gonna have to get a different lawnmower because my regular lawnmower is not gonna cut this grass. It's getting to be like 8 inches tall.
Yep.
Hey, Cork, double overhead cam neon. Shared that link with you. Representative Moore.
And with the Republican War?
Yeah, Gwen Moore or whatever.
Yep. Oh, geez. Yeah, you talking about her. She's either from Madison or Milwaukee. I'm guessing by looking at her, she's from Milwaukee. It's no surprise that she's saying this. Milwaukee, their violence rate is already more than their violence rate last year. And by that I mean shootings. Just one day in Milwaukee, There are four separate, this isn't Chicago, this is Milwaukee, so keep this in mind. There are four separate shootings. And again, I'm calling these shooters assholes. They're, they're thugs or gangbangers.
Right.
Goes and robs this convenience store and shoots a freaking 11-year-old in the leg. He's shooting an 11-year-old girl in the leg. Is she that much of a fucking threat to a thug that you have to shoot an 11-year-old girl in the leg? That's the thing. He purposely shot her in the leg. In that situation, I'm all for the thug being locked up for fucking life.
Right.
Sorry, it just, it upsets me that.
Oh, hell, I mean, trust me, I know.
And she's, they're calling for, in Milwaukee anyway, they're calling for tougher gun laws. And I'm going, tougher gun laws are not going to do a damn thing because our current gun laws don't do a damn thing.
Yeah, like you said, it was a gangbanger that did it, so.
Yeah. I call them thugs, assholes, whatever you want to call them.
I'm sure he didn't go through a NICS check, so.
Sensible gun control. Yeah, sensible gun control. Guess what? Our gun control works. We don't have, yeah, it's just horrible. There is no sensible gun control. But I'm going to quote what she says in here. Everybody shouldn't have a gun. They should not be as available to everyone. It is a right that I think it will be proved someday that constitutionally the state has compelling interest and the county has a compelling interest to limit access to firearms to certain people. We already do that, you moron. If they're under the age of 18, they can't buy or be in possession of a handgun. If they're 18 to 21, they can open carry a handgun or own a handgun. They just can't buy it through a federal firearms license. Once they're 21, then it's legal for them to buy a handgun. And if they've got a felony, they can't buy a handgun or a rifle or a shotgun. So we already got strict enough laws in the books. We should be removing these laws. What has happened in Wisconsin? If you take away, if you add Milwaukee into the statistics for the state, since we've introduced concealed carry in Wisconsin, statewide crime has gone down, violent crime has gone down, murders have gone down, rapes have gone down, but in Milwaukee, it's the exact opposite. Everything is going up. And they're going up because of the frickin' poor neighborhoods where the criminals are coming from. Of course, when people don't have money, they don't have jobs, and they need money to buy food, they're going to do it illegally. So of course it's going to go up. They peddle drugs. If we legalize drugs, we'll be peddling drugs.
Now, I was going to say, with Wisconsin or whatever, isn't that where the one sheriff that's pretty well outspoken on gun rights, and
he's actually a Democratic sheriff in Milwaukee.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And he is very outspoken for gun rights. He thinks everybody should own a firearm that legally can own a firearm.
Right.
I agree.
But I mean, he said it himself. We can't get there, and we can't always get there in time.
Yeah, if we can't get there in time, it's up to you to defend yourself.
Right.
I live in an area where there is very little crime. Hey, Huck.
Yeah.
Yo.
So I don't look at this. We've got a total of 2 officers duty to cover almost 7,000 people and cover 30 square miles.
Hey, imagine what the poor guys in Alaska is like.
Yeah, I'm just saying this is Wisconsin. Green Bay.
Everybody's got a gun in Alaska.
I live right outside of Green Bay. Literally, the village I live in borders Green Bay, the city of Green Bay. And you think about this, the 3rd biggest city in the state, and there's still only 2 cops. 1 cop for 3,000 people. We'll call it 3 to 4,000 people. Now you think about that. Yeah, and there are, just think about this. There are 2 calls. Both are emergencies. Both involve. Well, we'll say 3 calls. Both involve violent crime happening. And you only got 2 cops on duty. Then that means somebody else is going to be on the longer wait because they got to bring in the sheriff.
Yeah. But, some places do it with less, right?
Right.
It depends on your crime rate. I mean, you're talking about the poverty and stuff, and it was like, when I was talking to my daughter about, gun rights and gun crimes, and my daughter agrees that it doesn't make sense to punish the, Western Canadian farmer because, who's law-abiding, because people in, like, poor neighborhoods in Toronto or Montreal are shooting each other with handguns. That then restricting long guns isn't going to do a damn thing.
Yeah. Well, I live on the north side of my village. My village is a rectangle running north-south, being the narrow ones and north and south. Now, if both the cops are on calls in the very south part of well, they actually cover 2 villages. They don't cover just one here. They're on the very south side. To get to mine, it's going to take them 15 minutes.
Yeah. And that's just
going, that's burning rubber.
Yeah. Well, there's a guy who's got a YouTube channel, Brothers Keeper. Oh, I think there's some numbers behind it. But anyway, he's a Leo. But he says the same thing. He says, look, I'm going to be there as fast as I can, but it's going to be 15, 20 minutes. Because he's in one of those counties that, is fairly spread out and stuff. He says, so, like, you better count on defending yourself because I'm not going to be there to defend you. I'll be there to clean up. But they don't really clean up. He just means he'll be there to arrest someone or,
take the
collect evidence. Take the yeah. Yeah.
It's a shame, but that's the way it is. We don't have the ability to have a cop for every single citizen. Our personal cop with us at all times. So.
Oh, yeah.
You're laughing at what Bob did.
Yeah, he's got him sitting there shaking that, like a maraca.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, so we've got to take
maraca.
Because we don't have our own personal law enforcement officer with us at all times. We have to take and provide our own security, our own protection.
Right. Yeah. There's a video making the rounds on YouTube of 2 guys, in Canada here. They were jogging, and they were within miles of where a bear had just killed someone. Like about a month ago, a bear killed some oil field worker. And these guys are jogging, and this black bear starts following them, and they're like, they're videoing the whole thing. But I mean, you could see this bear going from kind of being playful to kind of being aggressive. It was really something to watch, eh? And yeah, these guys, this bear kind of followed them all the way back to their Jeep, as they were walking backwards, filming it, trying to scare it away and stuff. But it wasn't having anything of it. It was like, you guys aren't scary. I'm way bigger than both of you.
Yeah, that's the scary part about bears is they go from, oh, what are you doing? What you got around here? What's going on? To, okay, now it's time to eat you.
Yeah.
In like a moment's notice, and then they don't kill either. They just start eating.
Yeah, that's right. Bears are bad for that. Yeah, they will actually consume you while you're alive.
Almost every predator tends to do that, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true.
Big
Lions
predator,
will.
I mean.
Well, yeah,
Well, no, most of your
We're talking
jungle
about big
cats and
predator.
your
yeah.
big
The
cats and
cats
stuff.
want to kill you. Yeah, they go for the neck bite.
Um,
Well,
wolves
if
and
you ever
stuff generally
watch,
use
if
pack
you ever
tactics.
watch a pride of lions take down a gazelle or a wildebeest, before that wildebeest is dead, they're already tearing into it, eating it.
Yeah, well, that's because lions don't really kill like a regular cat. Lions tend to smother their prey
Well, but
more
also
often because their prey's bigger.
they use pack
Yeah.
tactics. They don't have to hunt the same way. I mean,
Right.
a
Yeah,
single
him.
jaguar or a single leopard or something has to go out and find a meal and take it down and guard it itself.
Yeah,
But you
it
ever
wants it
seen a
wants to
cat
kill it
also,
right
they
away.
will, yeah, they will play with their prey a long time before they kill it.
Well, now jungle cats won't generally,
Something
just
like
because
that.
they're more
No,
sensitive as far as
even
environment.
jungle cats will. Even
If they have the time.
Sometimes it depends. I mean, honestly, it depends on what kind of prey it is. I've seen them play with birds, and then let the bird literally just fly away and get away. And then I've also seen them take down a crocodile with one bite, like just perfect precision to the back of the neck.
Yep. Yeah, that's one thing
cats
with
are, yeah,
cats. You
the
always got to protect your neck. With
cats
big
are very intelligent. I'm talking about all cats, not just household pets. They're very intelligent.
Oh yeah, they're
They
smart.
know what prey they can play with and what prey they can't.
Yep.
That's because they commune with the devil, Quark.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
just because you got a pet wild mouse in your garage, you just
Yeah.
don't want a cat.
I
If you didn't
I
have that
really
pet wild mouse, you'd want a cat.
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see a cat bred up to about a 50-pound cat that was obedient like a dog. That was
They're
had
not
dog
obedient the
intelligence.
same way. If they were 50 pounds, Bob, they would just eat you.
Yeah, if
No, I
they're
mean,
50 pounds, it'd
yeah,
be
no, I knew guys who lived with bobcats. They had bobcats for pets and stuff, and they were just a really big, destructive cat that, if it wanted to, could do great damage to you. But I mean, if you raise them from kittens, they tend to just be
But
like
the
a big
thing is,
cat.
it's just like a boa constrictor, like one of those giant pythons. You can have it
Yeah.
as a regular old pet for a long time, no troubles, until one day it decides your hand looks like a mouse or this little
your
Yeah.
hand smells too much like a rat or a bunny or whatever you've been feeding it.
Oh yeah.
I was
But
gonna
I
say
mean,
Maine
you don't
Coons get
you
pretty
don't
big.
tend to let your snakes run loose. I mean, I actually had a friend of mine when she found out we had snakes. She was like, "Oh, I just couldn't do that because they might be anywhere." And I'm like, "No, you kind of keep them in the tank because otherwise the dog and the cats will eat them."
Yeah, we lived with a
Well,
lady who I lived with a lady who made that mistake with big. I don't even know what it was. It was like a big Florida native lizard that was like red and spotted,
Oh
about the
yeah.
size of an iguana, and that thing would like jump off of the shelves in the refrigerator onto your neck and start biting you and scratching you. Neat
Really?
little guy.
yeah. I'm going to say this. Yeah, you said Maine Coons. Yes, Maine Coons do get large. They're one of the larger cat breeds out there. Right around 20 pounds for a male.
I had one that used to come in the bathroom and he could like walk up to the bathtub and just look over the edge of the tub without having to get up on it. He just like he was that big. He'd walk up and just kind of look in the tub. It's the only cat I ever had. Most cats are way shorter in a bathtub.
Yeah, I know my when I went and adopted Neptune, they had a 11-month-old Maine Coon that
Ooh.
was already at 11 months old was already 20 pounds.
Oh yeah, they can get to be giant cats. I had a part Siamese that got huge. He was like 23, 24 pounds.
Yeah,
But
I'm a best fan with my what Bob calls small cats. They're all over 10 pounds, but
yeah, they are little cats.
it's still a freaking bowling ball in your lap.
Oh no, no. You want to get the big ones. A 20-pound cat gets on your lap. You know it. And they tend to like put their claws in to say, "I'm going to sit here." Then they'll flex their claws in and out on your leg.
Yes, it's called kneading.
Yeah, I know.
All my cats
It always did
knead,
that.
and it's like annoying as hell when they knead on your. Like they'll do that on my leg. It's like annoying as hell because it's like you're purposely doing this because I'm not wearing pants.
Huh.
Okay, that's all we need to hear. That's a weird looking knife, man.
Cats are good. Little soy sauce, little rice.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about dog.
The pilot's survival knife.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it on my end yet. Let me toggle.
Oh, it's in the side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just I got a big load of knives. I'm kind of moving some of them.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
one of
cool.
that's one of yours.
No, it's just a custom. It's made by Schrade. It's a
Oh yeah,
I get their Vietnam pilot knives, I guess. Pilot survival knives.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a good little switchblade too.
Yeah, that little hook. I like the little hook on it.
Cut paracord.
Doing pretty good for the first day though.
You know, that'd be really that'd cut seat belts really well too.
Oh yeah, it's like razor sharp, despite a few nicks.
Yeah, that's
Also
a
good.
neat idea.
Yeah, you're at what? That's not a bad opening day. You know, you got freaking 7 days left.
Right. Also got this guy. It's a little folder I'm gonna be working
Ooh,
on.
that's nice.
Oh, that's kind of cool. That's
Yeah,
like
it's
a
an
combat folder.
Ooh, I
interesting blade
like.
style for sure.
Yeah, I really like that unique blade style. I like unique blade styles.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a switchblade or something. But very cool.
Almost.
Had
What?
fake antler on it.
Oh, is that what that is? Fake antler?
Well, it had fake antler. It's got nothing on it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Pulled the
looking at
bolt.
the bolsters and the brass.
That's what they look like when I get ready to inland. Just pull off all the handle materials. More
My
around the move.
daughter's got a big collection of antlers because she used to go to the zoo all the time and hang out there, and she'd get the sheds off the African ebus or weird looking horns. Oh fuck, now that's your classic switchblade.
What, 13 inches?
Yeah, well, it's classic kind of, I think. What's the
Uh,
blade length on it?
I think it's like 8 inches, something like that.
Yeah, see
Dang.
that's a big knife.
Yeah, but
No, it's just
I found myself leaning toward either like the scimitar sweeping style blade or the stiletto blade.
Yeah.
cool.
Well, it kind of depends what you're, going to use it for. I mean,
Oh, that is true. But if it's got that scimitar style sweep, I almost always fall in love with the knife.
The cool old Gerber, super slim,
oh yeah, that's neat.
very, very thin knife.
Yeah.
We've got a whole bunch of random shit this week.
Yeah, all my knives now have to have a pocket clip because I just quit carrying them on my belt because I already got too much shit in my belt. So now it's just like the pocket I don't carry my wallet in, I carry my knife in. Wrecks the pockets on your jeans, but but they're handy. Like my CRKT, I mean, I've been keeping my Mai Tai. This thing is so scarred up, but it's still razor sharp. Like, you just have to touch up the edge once in a while. But I mean, the sides of the blade are all scarred up because I cut, shrink wrap off cement blocks with it and stuff like that. Cut boxes and everything else. So, but it doesn't seem to bother the blade, eh? As long as it's sharp.
Forgot this guy. This sweet little switchblade. Very, very, very powerful spring in this guy.
Ooh, yeah, that's quick.
I re-angled the blade today.
That's a neat little knife.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really, really small and lightweight with aluminum handles.
It's about 2 inches.
Yeah, if that.
Blade edge, shy of 2.
What's that?
I'm guessing the blade edge is just shy of 2 inches.
Yep, just. Yeah, just under. The actual cutting edge is just under 2 inches. Cool little knife, though.
Hmm.
I actually
Yeah,
might end up painting and keeping this one.
It's a little stubby knife.
Yeah, I like it. I like it for some reason.
Yeah, I will warn you, I'm watching my weather channel. We actually have a station that just possibly is weather. If you guys lose me, it's because we got a severe line of thunderstorms coming through, and
Oh yeah, we'll wipe
Yeah.
out your.
within the next half hour.
Ooh, look at that
It's
one.
actually, yeah, it's thundering right now, but I'm talking about the severe reds. I mean, we just got a
Oh,
little
that's
bit of.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got a little bit.
you're getting those ones that were producing all those tornadoes today, aren't you?
Yep. I mean,
Oh
they
yeah,
have weakened a
pretty
lot,
bad.
but still, I'm looking at this area of red and orange that's coming through, and it's kind of scary. There's a cell right now of yellow just to the south of me.
Ouch.
So I'm hearing a bunch of thunder. That's why I started looking.
Yeah, we never seem to get those storms anymore. Kind of suck. I haven't seen a tornado in gotta be 15 years.
Well, I haven't seen a tornado ever,
No, no.
but we did have a
There
funnel
you go.
cloud that I saw as a kid.
Yeah, we did
Yeah.
see them occasionally. I mean, like say, oh, Balsang.
No, that's a cold steel.
Is it?
Modded
No,
cold steel, isn't it?
yeah, it's still a balisong. I mean,
Yeah.
balisong's a style of knife.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah,
is
see,
now more than that.
yeah, my problem with them is I was always pretty sure if I had one, I'd cut myself a lot trying to learn how to use it.
That's pretty easy.
Yeah, you just got to make sure that when you flip it open, that the blade part isn't coming at you, Bob.
There
This
you
one's
go.
got a little tab on it. You can feel it when you grab it.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever make a closer for that?
Nah, I never got around to it. I'm gonna sell it pretty cheap, so
Mm.
I just all I really did was besides taking the lock off of it was do some tooling to the spine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of nice.
But I don't know, I'll probably get $50 for it.
Hmm.
Worth more than quite a bit more than that, but times are tough.
Yep. No, not here because it's stupid busy. God, I hate this boom shit. I'm not saying that just to be an ass. I mean, I really don't like it. It's my city's filled up. The roads are going to shit because they got 10 times as much traffic as they're designed for. They're building houses freaking everywhere.
Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, you know
It must
what?
be
I like it.
so terrible.
Oh,
All that economy stimulus going on.
Yeah, all the good stuff, putting people to work, and you're bitching about it.
I'm bitching because it's too much, too fast. And I mean, I'm used to just, it used to be a 5-minute drive to work. Now it's like 10, you know, and I'm only like 5 or 6 kilometers from work. So, I mean, most of my drive was, oh, I got a red light this time. Oh, now it's going to be like, an extra minute to get to work.
Are
And
you
now
guys
it's like
hearing that
stupid.
rumble at all?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Oh, yeah.
As G Web says, it's a terrorist weather cell.
Yep.
That's actually very long. It's one thunder.
I'll bet you, when you think about maybe Al Qaeda, like the evil, geniuses there must be running that system.
Holy
Maybe
shit!
they
That
developed a
one.
weather system, a weather machine. They might have hijacked a satellite. You don't know. And right now they're demanding like $1 billion from the American government, or they're gonna put a tornado down in downtown Denver or something.
Holy! That one thunderclap lasted over 30 seconds.
Can you see the lightning though?
Well, I got my blinds closed.
That's probably a good idea for your neighbor's sake.
That's exactly why I do it. And yes, a terrorist cell. I'm not looking forward to this.
You never know, weird shit's going on. people are learning more and more about the weather system. You know, now there's this whole thing about star water, that there's a whole lot more water out, you know, in the universe than people think. Because right now we think water is a really precious resource in the universe, and that
Actually, it's not. It's one of the most common elements out
Exactly.
in space.
yes, exactly.
This has been a common known thing since I went to college, and we talked about it because although we call water, you know, a liquid, it's actually
It's a gas.
it's actually a rock. It's just in liquid form.
H2O is a rock in
Yes.
liquid form? Well, at certain temperatures, of course. Yeah. Well, no, and then it's ice when it's frozen.
Right. Just like every other element out there, it can go from being a solid to a liquid to a gas.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
No, really.
No, I'm looking at
Yeah, I know.
I'm looking at Quark's weather.
Oh. Hey, Quark,
Yeah,
you run
that
outside
one
naked
cell
if it's a
is
thunderstorm,
and
lots
that's
of
only
lightning?
yellow.
Shoot. All right.
Quark, if it gets lots of lightning and shit going on, you're gonna run outside naked and run around a tree and, you know, chant to the, you know, pagan goddesses you.
No, I actually prefer to have my body unelectrocuted.
Oh, come on, don't be such a, you know, it won't kill you. Just like, I mean, there's all kinds of superheroes been created by getting electrocuted. It could happen. Become like Flash. Well, kind of a more rotund Flash, but I don't know if I'd want to see in a skin-tight outfit either. Plus, you wouldn't be able to run as fast because you'd have more wind resistance. I wonder why Flash, you know, and he's running that speed, his flesh just doesn't come off his bones. Oh, God, Quark, you're going to get smoked.
Yeah, look at that. Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at a better version. It's still just a little bit away from me. The severe stuff.
Yeah, I know, but the way that thing's whipping around like that.
Well, it definitely is kind of scary up top because it is hooking.
Maybe knows how
When it hooks like that, it is a sign that a tornado could be forming.
people who aren't in the path of a tornado go, oh, tornado, fucking A. Why do we do that?
Let's see. Severe thunderstorm watch until 3 a.m. They're not calling it a tornado watch, so.
There are certain conditions that have to be before you get a tornado.
Yeah, tornadoes at night are extremely rare.
Yeah, they do happen, which would suck because then you can't see.
Well, that's why I said they're extremely rare. I didn't say they don't happen.
No, they do, but yeah, not as often.
Holy crap! Our bay temperatures are in the 70s. Green Bay is actually in the 70s. Low 60s, or high 60s, low 70s.
My day off is Wednesday this week, and the forecast says 80% chance of rain.
80%.
Hell? Yeah, 80%. So that pretty much means it's going to rain all freaking day. If it's 20% chance of rain, it means you're going to get rain at some point during the day for an hour or so.
Yeah. Early showers Tuesday, which are happening right now. Middle of the day showers Wednesday. Late evening showers Thursday or late afternoon. All day Friday, and then late Saturday.
Hell, I'm on vacation this week, and it's calling for rain every day.
Yeah.
Well, you took vacation at the wrong time.
I know.
I'm taking vacation in the middle of August. But I mean, I go to a northern lake where at night you put long johns on even though it's middle August.
Yeah,
even though
I
you're
took the
sitting around a
vacations
fire.
like 3 months ago, so.
You going north of the tree line there, bud?
No, getting up there though.
Yeah, my uncle, who passed
Plus-
away, was an avid fisherman, and he said the best time he ever had fishing when he was whatever that parallel is, basically where the tree line basically stops.
Yeah.
He says the best time. Everything is, barbless hooks and catch and release, except
Yeah.
almost everything's catch and release. You can keep a small percentage.
Yep. Oh,
And I'm
and
like,
that's fun. But the reason they do that is because you catch fish all day, eh?
yep.
If you let them go, you can just, hey, I can spend all day. Like every 10 minutes, you're reeling in a fish, if not less time than that. And they're usually good size and fighters, and oh, it's fun.
Yeah.
Those
Well, you
northern lakes, the fish are so hungry.
yeah, you fly in there on a pontoon plane,
Yeah.
and you're away from civilization, communication. You're
Oh yeah.
basically away from the whole outside world. There's no roads in or out.
Nope.
Everything's done by plane.
Yep. Well, technically, you could get in and out by snow machine in the winter, but it would be a hellish trip.
Yeah, well, snow
Yeah.
machines don't count.
Yeah, it'd be a 4 or 5 day trip on a snow machine.
You could probably get there by ATV too if you really tried.
No, too many lakes in the way. Not unless you got a amphibious ATV, and they do make them, but they suck.
Well, you go around lakes. It's the rivers that are the problem.
Yeah, no, yeah, and going around some lakes. I mean, it's 2 miles across the lake, and it's 38 miles around it. That's why in the winter you can do it because, of course, that the lakes all become freeways, right? So lakes and stuff and rivers and shit like that. It's just string them together so you're mostly on those. And yeah, you can just fly along on a lake. You can do 70, 80 miles an hour on a snow machine.
Oh, hell yeah. This machine is super fast.
You stupid.
I never
fast.
liked the snow machine. I've never driven one, but I've ridden in the back when I was a little kid. And I'm like, you're out there, it's already fucking cold, and you're making it colder. It's no
I
fucking
owned my
fun.
own. I had my own snow machine at 11.
And, as a kid, I was thinking, this is no fun. Even if I were, driving, I'd be like, this is
As a
no
kid, I
fun.
thought
It's
this
too
was the
fucking
greatest fucking
cold.
thing ever. You
You're
couldn't get
going
to
out.
drive a motorized vehicle. I mean, as an 11-year-old kid, that was just fucking heaven. They'd go like 35, 40 miles an hour.
I
That's
drove my
way
friend's
back.
three-wheeler.
Oh, three-wheelers are fucking stupid.
Well, that was before they made quads. It was only
Quads are
three-wheelers.
stupid. I mean, if riding two wheels or don't ride.
Well,
I guess.
Motorcycles are way better. Quads are good for work stuff, right? To have on a farm to haul around bales and shit like that. But yeah, to go through bush and shit like that, I'd rather do it on a motorcycle.
three-wheelers are the newest and biggest thing. My father wouldn't let me ride on a motorcycle. So I had to do the three-wheeler, which are freaking more dangerous than a motorcycle. But
Oh, far more dangerous. Yeah, they are just unstable. They're fun if you get a good one. A buddy of mine had one of the ones that actually had a motocross engine and had smaller back wheels and actual suspension and stuff. And it was cool. But it was a challenge to ride, but it was more like riding a motorcycle then, because it had a 250 two-stroke motocross engine in it, so it kind of went like stink. But like I say, it had smaller back, almost lawn tractor wheels on the back. So it was yeah, way sportier version. It was the big balloon tires real close together. The Honda ATVs, those things were awful.
well, you could pop wheelies with them, which was fun.
Yeah, you could lean back and they'd just tip over.
Yeah. Well, that's what I had growing up, and
Well, I guess if that's all you got,
I didn't find them.
yeah.
I didn't find them exhilarating. And again, my dad wouldn't let me ride a motorcycle. My neighbor, had a little dirt bike.
Yeah, see, my dad was all about, oh yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna get one too, and he went and got one. Mind you, they weren't dirt bikes; they were little 50, 75cc street bikes that you used to be able to buy back in the 60s, and then they were converted to dirt bikes by you do things like put washers in the forks because that would like stiffen up the forks, and put shocks on the back that were from another motorcycle that were maybe a little bit bigger or something, eh? But yeah, they were pretty crude. Other than that, you just strip all the weight off them and put a set of motocross bars on them. You were good to go. Yeah.
As I was gonna say, my neighbor had a dirt bike, and he ended up, well, she had 5 kids. He was just one of the older ones. He ended up crashing and breaking a whole bunch of bones. And
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, some people did. I mean, I crashed mine lots. I never broke that many bones. I cracked some, but never really broke some.
so that was no more, no more even talk about a motorcycle.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, parents will get like that. My mother always hated the motorcycle because I was always, coming home all busted up, or not busted up, but scraped up. God, I used to get road rash all the time because
Yeah.
drinking and motorcycles don't go together.
Well, hell
But
no.
when you're 18, you don't know better.
There you go, Bob.
Or you think you know better.
Awesome.
Oh man, yeah. You know what? That is really cool. They made some kits like that you could, take any kind of, 750,000 cc motorcycle, and it was like a set of forks with a ski on them, and it was a dual tracks at the back.
Really?
Yeah, and they were just crazy looking. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Other than Harley's, Harley Davidson did make snowmobiles in the 80s.
Oh, did they?
Oh yeah, 70s and 80s. You could buy a Harley Davidson snowmobile. They weren't very good, but
That's on a Sportster motor right there.
yep, that's a sporty. That would be kind of a hoot to try ride.
I'd be fucking wrecking that thing left and right.
They're actually starting to make a snow machine that's more like a motorcycle, eh? And apparently it's just badass in deep powder and stuff, because it'll get right up on top of it, eh? And it's just really cool. And it like leans in the corners like a motorcycle, way more. Well, snow machines kind of do now, but not like a bike does.
Tell you what, that is smart. Smart to use the Springer front end though.
Yeah, that's one heavy duty Springer though.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually had a bike one time that had one of the original style Harley Springers that had been extended by using Ford radius rods. Like it's really
crap.
old school, eh? It was cracked, of course. But because that's all they literally did. They just cut the Harley Springer, and they took chunks of Ford radius rod from the front end of old Fords, and because it was the same shape, they just welded them together.
Damn.
There you go, man. Go ride that at 100 miles an hour.
I mean, that right there is what we used to do as kids. We used to cut the forks off of bicycles.
Yep. And
we stick, and extend them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did that. I used to, cut the tips off one set of forks and cut another set of forks off a donor bike, and then slide the forks one inside the other. And that'd give you maybe a 1 foot extension.
Right.
But you'd end up with this stupid rake where, the front of the bike's way up in the air. So then you had to start figuring out how to cut the frame to change the rake.
Yeah, that's what we did as kids.
Yep. I knew one kid tried to extend his forks. He wanted to get really radical, so he used half-inch copper pipe that he'd stole from his dad's garage or something, eh? Well, yeah, about maybe the 20 minutes into riding it, the copper let go.
I was gonna say, hell, that'd been real easy.
Oh yeah, I did. I'm surprised it didn't bend earlier, but I guess it was just because there was almost no weight on it. It was extended so far, all the weight was on the back tire, eh?
Yeah.
But yeah, it just looked ridiculous, and it was hilarious, especially when it broke. Yeah, when I was a kid growing up, though, we used to have homemade mini bikes. We'd ride to the school playground, from our elementary school, and we'd race around the playground on the weekends and shit.
Yeah.
A little race course set up. I remember I was riding I had a 50cc Suzuki, and it was like the pressed steel frame, but it had knobbies on it and shit like that, and been all stripped down. So I'm riding it to to the school ground, to go run around. I was maybe 12, and I seen a cop car coming down the street. So oh crap! So I jumped off and pretended I was walking beside it, except I was taking about 20-foot steps. I was going about 25 miles an hour. Right? And I went past the cops, and I'm just kind of barely hanging onto the bike, getting dragged down the street, and the cops kind of look at me, and they just kind of laughed and kept going. Like, no, we're not going to stop him. He learned his lesson. Yeah. Yeah, you can't really run at 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Mostly it's getting dragged. But yeah, that was a cool little bike, except in the summer when it was warm out, it would seize up after about 20 minutes. It was overheating because it was originally 50cc, and my brother and his buddy decided they could make it bigger. So they bored it out, and then they used a Honda 90 piston, which, would have been cool because, it's 90cc piston. However, because it's shorter stroke, it wasn't. I think it maybe bored it out to 80cc, something like that. But a Honda 90 piston's a 4-stroke piston, and the Suzuki was a 2-stroke. So they cut their own ports out of the piston. We're talking garage engineering. This was like with a hacksaw and a drill and a file. They cut ports into the piston, and it frickin' worked. But there was so little cylinder wall left, it would heat up really bad. Worked great in the winter. Because I used to ride it in the winter. I used to take it down the rivers, frozen rivers, and race snow machines and shit. It was a hoot. Let's get some sheet metal screws and screw them into the knobbies.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do the sheet metal screw trick.
You bet. It works. I know guys who ride like sport bikes, and in the winter they put these, I think they're like Paris to Dakar off-road tires that they use for the race bikes for that, because they're basically a race bike for those, or sport bikes with a little bit more suspension and better tires. So these guys with the sport bikes, they'll buy the tires that fit their sport bikes, and they're knobby tires, and then they'll just put sheet metal screws in them, and you can ride the fuckers all winter. You have to be crazy, but you can.
As I said in chats before, when I was a teenager, I was into the RC cars, and I did that in the winter. I was put sheet metal screws in the rear tires.
Oh yeah.
Just the little stubby ones, Yeah. And it worked. It allowed, especially some winter, well, a couple winters we had a nice thaw that let the snow just freeze over the top.
Oh yeah, you get a crust on it.
It gets a beautiful crust, and those tires work great on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, it's no fun when you flipped it over and then you had to go ruin half the snow going to get it. But
yeah. I always was saying when me and my son first did the RC cars, is we'd do the side yard one winter. We'd just go out there and make an ice track, because it's big enough you could have a really nice oval. And or even a figure 8 would be kind of cool too, but just make an ice track and just stomp down the snow and bank the corners and everything, and never have done it. Then we kind of got out of the RC stuff, and now I just have like $1,000 worth of fucking toys hanging on the wall.
Yeah, well, I one time had a track in my front yard that was designed out.
Oh yeah.
The front yard is all covered with trees, so it was almost all dirt anyway, so it was pretty easy to do.
Other than you had trees to run into.
Trees are part of the course. You just had to go around them.
Well, that was the one thing I really liked about the RC cars, is I got to teach my son a lot about replacing suspension parts and how everything works. So he has a general idea how suspension and everything works now, because we had to replace the front suspension on the trucks a couple times. He'd catch a post. Or just a wall. One time I was racing him, and I just give him a little nudge because we're coming around a corner, and I slid my back end out and just nudged his front end, and it put him right into the wall, and it broke the front and the back suspension, which we'd never done before. But it was kind of fun having to put it all back together. No, it wasn't fun. It was stupid.
Yep, I still remember my first electric RC car, and it was called the Bigfoot, and it was one of the first kits, you know?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
If it was either one of the first or it was the first electric kit. Had these big, huge, they're soft rubber tires that were freaking
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, yeah, they're fun. Well, now, like, the big thing is to build rock climbers. And then you just have a pile of rocks, and you just practice climbing the rocks with your little RC car like you would in a real rock climber car. Just, there's skill to that. Oh, you watch the guys who do the desert runs and the rock climbing in Arizona and like Mojave or whatever. But yeah, that's fucking insane. If I got a
Mojave.
4-wheel drive truck, I wouldn't want to try to do any of that shit. Yeah,
Oh, you're
Mojave.
talking. Yeah.
No, they have like things where you gotta come down a freaking rock, a big giant mountain-sized rock. And it's really steep, and there's all this marks down the rock where people have been locking their tires up before they plunged off the edge to their death. Yeah, it's like, oh, well, let's do this for fun. No, I don't think so. I'm going to sit down here at the bottom and have a beer and watch everybody else.
Yep.
Did you see that, Court?
Oh,
That's storm.
jeez.
Yeah, well, that's the storm that's coming through you right now. It spawned a twin tornado.
Which is not as rare as people think. It happens quite a bit.
Does it?
Yeah. It is kind of neat, though, when you think about it. Like, imagine just one of them coming around a trailer park, and you're just looking out, there's like two of them circling the trailer park, and you'd be going, oh
shit, I'm fucked.
Yeah. Well, I will say that mostly when they do form two tornadoes, there's less strength tornadoes. So better having two level one, two F1s and one F4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think every trailer park should be required to have a tornado shelter. Unless you're just trying to get rid of the trailer park people. You would want to give them a shelter. There's probably some conspiracy theorist people that believe that.
Yeah.
Remember when 9/11 first happened, I was telling my buddy, oh, wait, what if it was the CIA and they had trained these guys because, they were training the Afghan rebels to fight the Russians and they told them all about this, and what if it was the CIA? And yeah, crap, a couple months later, damn, that people are saying that. It's like, fuck, people is... But hey, you never know. Turns out Ringo Starr.
Actually, conspiracy was actually the final Jeopardy question today.
Really?
Was the answer to it? Yeah.
I mean, seriously, like, I just like some of the conspiracy stuff is just too crazy. It's like the government's got this secret cabal that they kowtow to because they're the big business owners and they own everything, and it's almost like the Get Smart man from whatever Bond, James Bond kind of these giant evil empires that are just making the governments do what they want and playing the government politicians like puppets and stuff, and it's just like, can't really be like that. I mean, yeah, they're all corrupt and lying bastards, but that's just the way they are. They're mostly lawyers. I just wonder why people think, I can't believe my politician lied to me. And wait, he's a lawyer? And you can't believe he lied to you? Are you stupid? He's a lawyer. That's his job.
And just in case anybody is curious, conspiracy is actually comes from Latin, and it means to breathe together.
Really?
Yep.
Now, how do you say it in Japanese now? If you're going to give us language lessons, you should at least do the one like that Hello Kitty one,
I don't know. I can't do accents, so I can't do any foreign languages.
Really?
Nope.
terrible liberal. You're supposed to speak 4 or 5 socialist languages. I'm sure Yankee does.
I do speak Canadian. Does that count? What's that about, eh?
No, we're not socialist. Well, it depends on who you talk to.
What's that about? I do like hockey. It's a shame that Wisconsin doesn't have a hockey team. At least a pro hockey team. You'd think a state where hockey would be welcome would be the land of winter.
There you go, Bob.
Yeah.
Inbo.
Well, I'm just gonna say this. You hear the Green Bay Packers, and you think the frozen tundra, which is a bad thing to say because tundra's already frozen, so you don't need the frozen part. But
'Tis true.
Can you hear that, Bob?
Nope.
Guess not.
Nope.
Here, I'll paste
all I hear is thunder.
it. There, side chat.
Oh, okay. Oh, you can do it in Japanese?
Yep. Hit the little speaker and it'll say it for you.
Conspiracy.
No, I mean on the Japanese side.
Mm-hmm.
Conspiracy.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. In Japanese.
Conspiracy.
Huh?
Conspiracy. Inbo.
There you go.
Inbo. Inbo. Inbo.
Well,
Conspiracy.
Don't want to tell it to me.
go to the right side, Bob. Not the
I'm
left.
on the right side. Oh, the
No.
little speaker on the right side. Okay.
Yes.
Where it says Inbo.
Inbo.
That's funny. But it's better when it's like a hot girl with like bunny ears on and big boobs.
Let's just imagine.
Yeah, that doesn't really happen in Japan.
No, but there's a girl that does Japanese translation things on YouTube that's got this really big site because she's got big boobs and she's cute. And she says, "This is our Japanese word for today." And then and you kind of go, "What? I didn't hear the word. I'll have to watch that again."
100
That's
times
what I
later.
actually had to do. As Epic Rap Battles of History did one today, which was Isaac Newton versus Bill Nye.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious, and Weird Al actually plays. He actually stars in this one. He plays and sings the part. Raps the part of Isaac Newton. And you listen. This is a freaking white guy. You listen to him rap, and it's freaking amazing that he can rap so well. Okay.
Yeah, but you got to remember who it is, man.
Yeah.
Right.
It's Weird Al. I mean, yeah,
no,
of course.
Weird Al was amazing. Like,
I've
look at all
seen
the
their-
stuff he's done. It's just like, wow. I mean, he did the Amish thing. That was hilarious.
Almost every one of his songs is hilarious. There are a few I don't find funny. But almost every one I find, funny to the except a couple I don't.
Yeah,
can't
I got a
live with
buddy
that,
of
man.
mine. When he lets his hair grow out, he looks just like frickin' Weird Al. You'd swear he was Weird Al, other than my buddy's in a wheelchair, but other than that, he looks just like Weird Al. And this buddy of mine used to be in a band, so it's kind of funny. If his band had ever kept going, he would have been like, "You look like Weird Al,"
Now, before you start playing that yourself, I don't want to get in trouble.
What?
I put a link in the internal. So before you start playing that, mute yourself.
Okay.
All right, I watched it again. I just find it so good. I gotta watch it multiple times. But if anybody's curious, Weird Al's new album drops July 15th.
Yeah, that was funny.
Wasn't it?
Yep.
You sit there, the first time I'm just listening and watching Weird Al do his, thing, and, watching who's there playing Bill Nye and the black guy. Second time I watch it, I read the lyrics and ignore everything else that's going around, and then the third time I just go back and just enjoy it because I can actually understand all the lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah, you had to pay attention to the lyrics.
Yeah.
But you hear him frickin' rap. This is Weird Al rap, and he's like doing this whole thing, and it's like, holy crap!
Well, I think any singer should be able to rap, because
But it's how fast he forms the words to these things.
Well, still, I mean, it's not like he's free-forming it.
No, but do you ever listen to Hardware Store?
To Hardware Store?
Yeah, that's a Weird Al song. It's called Hardware Store.
Oh, no, I never have.
All right, well, I'll go key up the section I'm talking about. You got to listen to him do this section.
Okay. Well, it's getting quiet.
Yeah, I can't talk while I'm doing this, so I got to be quiet here for a
You
second.
have problems with walking and chewing gum, too, don't you?
I was gonna say why you keying it up because you can't play it on air, so.
Yeah. Oh, crap, I gotta lock everything back up again. Shit. It sometimes get in chats and it's like, oh, I want to look at this. And then I turn around and go, oh, crap, I gotta put everything away.
All right, I got it keyed up to this section here. Yeah, actually, this is a great fan-made video too. Ben made this video for him, so
Oh yeah. Okay. Oops.
He's always been like that, though.
yeah. But I mean, just, could you do that? Could you say all those words that fast in one breath?
Hell no, I couldn't.
No, and I did see him in concert, and he did perform Hardware Store, and yes, he does that in one breath. And he's out there moving around and dancing at the same time. This is not lip sync stuff. This is
Right.
him performing live. But I mean, that's a great freaking song. If
I was gonna say
Bob,
I've
I
been
would
to a
get a kick out of
concert.
it. Yeah, it's one of his originals. His original songs don't get a whole lot of play because they're originals.
Right.
Everybody wants to knock off on Miley Cyrus or Taylor Swift or whoever.
Everybody wants
Lady
to knock
Gaga.
up who?
Everybody wants to everybody wants to hear the knockoff of.
Oh, I thought you said
You know.
you wanted to knock up Taylor Swift and Miley Cyrus. I was kind of just coming back in from watching the Weird Al, so yeah. Caught that in the middle, I guess.
Yes. But he's amazing. You'll love that. You'll like that whole song because it's manly stuff he talks about.
Oh, that's all hardware shit.
Yeah, and it's what as I said.
Sell that shit all day, man. I've worked in that retail type business like that for almost 30 years.
But
I worked
that's
in a
the
hardware
I
store
call that
lumber.
that's a man song. Men get that
Mhm.
song because it deals with.
Well, it was like
Cool
Tim
names,
Taylor's
yeah.
comedy, right?
Yep.
Or, the Tool Man.
Yep.
I mean,
Tim Allen.
he had quite a career out of that, man.
Oh, and he's got a new show, Last Man Standing, where he plays a staunch conservative.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't seen that one
He
yet.
works at a sporting goods store selling firearms.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to check that out. I know he's a guy's guy, right? He's like into hot rods and shit. I
Oh, yeah.
saw him get interviewed by Hot Rod TV, and he took this truck that he's got, and it's like a Dodge with a great big giant blowing Hemi in it, and he goes and says, "Hey, what?" To the reporter guy, he says, "Hey, watch this," and he stomps on it and goes down the street. And as he goes down the street, every car alarm and all his neighbors' cars go off. It's so fucking loud, and it's shaking the ground, eh? And then he comes roaring back, pulls it into the garage, closes the door, and says to the reporter, "You should maybe get out of here now." And you can hear the cop sirens coming, because he lives in a pretty nice neighborhood.
I will say Tim Allen's he's hilarious. And he's a man's man. He's kind of he's got that love of cars and man stuff. He showed it on in the show, and now he does the Last Man Standing. And I'm gonna tell you, at first I just started watching it for. He's got 3 daughters in the show.
And you're watching for the daughters?
Well, yeah, the one was.
Damn, you're kind of weird, Quark.
Hey, I'm gonna say this: they're freaking hot, and yes, they're over 18. Well, 2 of the 3 are over 18.
You're like 40.
Doesn't matter; they're still hot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you got to be within
You'll
at
you'll
least
have a
20
crush
years
on
of
his
your
wife,
age,
and I
you
can't
know?
remember her name, but you'll have a crush on his wife because you like
Yeah, see,
older women.
yeah, I see. I like women, within 20 years of age. Like, I mean, Raquel Welch. Oh hell yeah! Even though she's like 70.
Now it's driving me crazy. What is her name? I gotta look it up.
What's it? Let's see.
Remember what his wife's name is.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about Nancy Travis.
Travis.
Yep.
Never heard of her.
Oh, hell, she graduated from Ohio State.
You may not recognize her, but she's been in some movies. I'm trying to remember the movie I remember seeing her in.
Oh, 3 Men and a Baby.
Thank you. That's the one, I think.
Don't remember that show.
I put the link into her IMDb page.
It was Penny from Big Bang Theory. I'd probably watch the show just to see her.
Oh, come on. She's like in her 20s.
No, she's not. She's like 35.
No, she's not.
Yeah, she is. She's within her 20-year
She's in her
age.
late 20s.
No. She just looks like she is. Oh, this would be cool. German World War II Kriegsmarine officer's sword. Beautiful, fully original World War II. I want this. Is Huck still here?
No.
Damn it. He'd get a kick out of this.
Yeah, she does a lot of TV stuff.
That's a sword.
Craig's Marine Officer Sword.
Yeah, so it's the German Navy. World War II German Navy officer's sword.
All right, Kaylee Coco. Let's see.
Blade is Echtern Sullivan polished steel. Not
She's
domestic.
29.
Very good, better condition. Beautiful addition. Wow, man.
Kaylee
That is
Coco
nice,
is
but I'd never pay that much for it.
25. Kaylee Coco is 29.
Mm.
What's her name?
Born
Okay,
Kaylee
she's within.
Coco.
She, like I said, she's 30, so she's pretty close to being within that 20-year limit. I guess 5 years, one way or the other, doesn't matter.
What you're supposed to do is take your age, divide it by 2, and then add 7. That's the rule.
Okay. So, oh, no way.
She's dateable, even though she's married.
No way.
No way. Yes, way. That's the rule. That's the rule. That's acceptable.
No. That's the rule for, like, peasants. I could buy a wife from China way younger than that.
Yes, you could, but that's the rule. People look. You're 60 and you're dating a 20-year-old? No, but if you're 60 and dating a 37-year-old, it's fine.
You pay a dowry, and then she just becomes your really young Chinese wife who you keep at home because she can't speak English, and she cleans, keeps the house nice and clean, cooks meals. You have to teach her how to cook like real food, but.
So they had 2 different chicks play the oldest daughter.
Yeah, at least 2.
Really?
It's the later one that's more attractive, in my opinion.
Oh, the season 2 to present.
Yes.
It doesn't. For some reason, it's not showing a picture of her.
All right. Let's see.
Yeah, here I'll go to her website. That'll work. Oh hell.
Yeah, you look at the website.
Oh, that's kind of neat. How about a U.S. property marked Savage manufactured Lee Enfield #4 rifle?
Mark IV.
Yeah, but marked U.S. property. That would
Yeah,
have
her
been
name is Amanda Fuller.
got. They would have done that by. Oh, how would they have done that?
Yeah, the one that played the first season was Alexandra
Crosney.
Crosby. Yeah. I just couldn't see, personally, I couldn't see her in that role myself.
I'll have to check that out.
I find it entertaining. It comes on Friday nights normally, so.
Yeah. Well, I don't watch TV, so that's.
It's been renewed for whatever's next season, so.
I've given up on TV. I mean, there's very few shows. I mean, I'm waiting to see whether the only last series I really liked, other than Walking Dead, was Falling Skies, and I'm not sure if it's going to come back.
Oh, by the way, they're bringing a couple of Canadian television shows to America.
Which ones? Orphan Black, I think, is probably a
No,
big one.
Working the Angles.
Working the Angles, okay.
The Angles. It's some Canadian comedy or a sitcom, and a Seed is another sitcom.
I've never heard of
I
it.
guess Seed is about a sperm donor who kids find out that he's a sperm donor and come. So
They start trying to track down their half siblings.
Yeah, that's what they're doing basically at the.
That'd be fucking hilarious, actually.
I will say.
What do you mean you
comes in, I
donate
think,
sperm 100 times?
What is Canadian television station? City TV?
I think we have a City TV, yeah.
That's the station I think it comes on. Yeah, the series is going to be broadcast on the CW. I don't know when they're going to bring it, but I saw one episode and I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I can't say where I saw the episode, but I saw one episode, and yes, I did see it legally.
Ooh, those would
It
be.
might have been the very, very first one. Now that it's going to be broadcast by the CW, I guess they can say it. But I took a survey about it, and I actually got to watch a whole sitcom in the survey. They wanted my opinion. I thought it was funny, and I think it was the first one. I don't know for sure if it was the first episode or not, but.
There you go, Bob.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when I was looking for more information after I found out about it, that's when I found out, I guess at the end of second season, too, they gave kind of spoilers away, so.
Yeah, I really like. I just don't know what's happened to these M1 Grands we were supposed to get. Pissed me off.
I'll tell you what happened. They got blocked.
I know, but it's just wrong. It's this latest shooting. This guy, I think, used military surplus guns, rifles.
Yeah, hey, Bob, it's filmed in Halifax.
It's what?
It's filmed in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Oh. Yeah, that's why I wouldn't have heard of it. Bunch of new.
It's broadcast on City TV Thursday nights at 9 p.m.
Huh.
That's according to IMDb. Or not IMDb, by Wikipedia. That's how I found out also about Working the Angles, which I didn't think as fun, but that one I did know. I saw the very first one because it set the whole thing up. And I'm pretty sure it was the first one for Seed 2.
Yeah, apparently he had that built for him.
Yeah, Working Angles is going to be on NBC. No wonder I didn't like it.
69 caliber percussion.
Yeah, but they're dueling pistols. They got badass. You insult me and pull out these pistols. Duel. What the fuck?
I believe.
Thompson Center Fire 50 cal Hawken rifle, high quality, excellent condition, 20-inch barrel. Ooh, for $400, a 50 cal Hawken style percussion. Oh, Thompson Center. That's a damn good price. Oh, you guys would probably get it for like 200, but looking like $400. That's decent.
Yeah. And that's actually the lead of this Working the Angles, and that's why I started. That's why I actually managed to make it through the whole thing without going crazy.
Yeah.
Well, she was a redhead in there, not a brunette like the pictures. She actually was a redhead, and I have a thing for redheads, so.
Oh, yeah. Don't recognize her. She looks okay.
I have a thing for red and blue eyes or hazel eyes. Doesn't matter.
I got a thing for black powder, so.
She's been in a lot of roles, but it seems like she was, she played a woman or not a main character. Like she'll be in like one episode of some television show.
Oh, Red Riding Hood. I remember that one.
Now, is that not a cool freaking rifle?
I mean, you have to be doing halfway decent as an actress if you're being at least in one episode of a show once a year, a TV show.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is with actors is you can be a kind of a bit actor, and you might play these small parts in TV shows. And you might get a recurring TV series, where once or twice a month you'll play a pizza delivery guy, and have a line or something. But that's enough to keep those people alive, and that and their job waiting tables. But they can get a part where they get enough parts every year that they actually make a living acting as small time bit actors, not a star, just what do they call that? Not bit actors. What do they call it? There's a name for it.
Cast?
Mm.
No, it's not cast. What am I thinking
No,
of?
it's an actor who makes a living without being a big star. It's just a
bit actor. Bit.
I guess bit actor maybe. I don't know. I was just thinking there was another word for it or something. But anyway, like there's lots of people who do that, and they live a good life. They live in L.A. and they got a $500,000 house with a pool and stuff, but
Well, that's
they don't drive
normally
fancy
how it
cars. They drive a Nissan or something like that.
I just want to tell you this: a $500,000 house in L.A.
Well, I mean back
with
in the
a pool is basically a one-room house. It's almost a shed.
back in the 80s, a $500,000 house was a nice house. It was like 1,500 square feet. 2-car garage.
My house is still bigger. 60 by 30.
I tell you, if I had my way, I'd be living out in the country. But it'd be really nice to be you know, if I won the lottery, what I'd do is just take the house here that the wife likes, and I'd just move it. Because you can just take it's a brick house. You can just take it apart. It's like Legos. And you can take it apart and you can move it out into the country. And I'd move it out into the country on a nice piece of land about 10 minutes out of the city, you know,
I
about
thought you
40
were in
acres of
Arizona.
land. No, actually, I don't want to live there year round. It's, you know, I want to go there in the winter when it's really cold up here. I want to, you know, close up the house and go to Arizona.
Yeah,
Live
well,
in
if you
my
go
fifth
to
wheel trailer, you know?
yeah, if you do go to Arizona, it's like, hi today, 109.
Well, not in the
Well,
winter.
that's like 109 for the whole day. It's like
Well, no, not in the
sometimes
winter. And
it
plus,
goes
you know,
from 90 to 109.
I'm going to go hang out where Huck is, where there's mountains, and you can just drive up the mountain. Gee, it's getting warm. I'm going to drive up the mountain, park my camper a little further up the mountain. Well, man, I found a really nice camper for decent price. And it's, you know, I think it's a 26-foot fifth wheel. So it's, you know, fairly small, but it's been all redone inside, and it's just gorgeous. And, you know, it's like got ceramic tile around the sink and, you know,
All right.
for the backsplash and stuff. But not, you know, this huge ostentation. I don't like the big campers because they're fucking heavy, and I don't like that much performance loss on my truck.
What makes it a fifth wheel?
Instead of going to a hitch down at the bumper, it goes to a hitch that's attached to the frame in the middle of the truck bed.
Ah,
Which means
okay,
you have
thank
a
you.
lot more control, and you can
Yeah.
turn sharper. And yeah, it's just way more stable. Like with a fifth wheel, you're allowed to in most states, if you've got seatbelts in the camper, to have people in the camper while you're driving down the road because it's physically attached to the frame of the truck.
Gotcha. Now I know what the fifth wheel means.
Yeah.
Well, I knew what I should say. I didn't know exactly what it means. I knew what it looked like, but as soon as it said it was attached to the frame, I'm just like, why? It's just attached to the bed of, you know, it just goes in the bed of the truck. I'm like, that doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
no, it actually attaches right to the frame. Through the bed of the truck. I mean,
Yeah,
my
through the
truck
bed.
had a fifth wheel hitch, so it's got big holes in the bed of the truck where the bolts went through and then they clamped onto the frame.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, it's a much better way to tow. A lot more stable, easier to back up, and everything else. They used to make one. It's the funniest thing. I can't remember. I wish I could remember the website and show it to you guys. But there's a camper they used to make that was ultra lightweight, and you could tow with your Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah. I
I
just
remember
saw a
that.
video on that.
It attached to the roof of the Beetle, so when you wanted to back it up, you could actually turn the car right around and drive forwards and back the trailer into your spot while driving forwards in the car. So of
Yeah,
course
I
it
remember
made the
that.
trailer way more maneuverable, but it was a fucking whack that you could turn the vehicle around under the trailer hitch. The hitch was just in the middle of the car.
For somebody who can't back a trailer on a tractor to save his life.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be. Oh, I hate backing up. I hardly ever pull a trailer, but you know when I do, it's usually the boat or something, which is pretty easy to back up. But you get like the shorter trailers. I had this tent camper that was really stubby and short, and it was freaking impossible to back that thing up straight. There was just so little to it. By the time you saw it, it was already jackknifing.
Yep, I got this trailer for the back of my riding lawnmower, and I cannot back that thing up to save my life. What I
Really?
do is, since it's so light, yeah, I've just...
Oh,
It
you know,
drives me
also,
crazy.
they don't have very solid hitches, so there's a lot of play there.
Yeah, I just take the freaking trailer up, back it up to where I want it to, and then just back the lawnmower up to there.
Yeah, that's bad. It just takes practice. Just go out and practice it sometime. Spend an hour. You'll find it's not that hard once you learn it. I mean, I used to drive bigger, like semis, and yeah, they could be with a 40-foot trailer. That was something to back up. And plus, they were heavy, and you could get them stuck real easy, and it could be quite embarrassing.
Yep, so I knew from a young age that trucking was out of my... And that's why I don't even have a freaking hitch on any vehicle I own, because I know that... Back up. No, I tried for ages to learn to back up. I just don't have the hand-eye coordination to be able to back up a trailer.
When you're on your mower quirk. Just put one hand at the 6 o'clock position, and whatever way you steer the steering wheel, that's the way the trailer's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Turn. Yeah.
I know, but it just does not register in my head that way.
Oh.
Well, you got to just do it slowly until you get used to it, eh? And you will eventually. You just go to a big open part of your yard and just start trying to back it up as far as you can.
I don't have a big open area. I've
Well,
got a very narrow
kind of
driveway.
area. If you don't have a yard big enough to be able to do that in, you probably don't need a riding mower.
No,
Yeah.
I've got a yard that's very big. I don't have an open area in my yard.
Oh, you have
big
trees in
enough.
your yard.
Yes.
Well, then you don't have a lawn. Why do you need a riding mower?
I do have one. It still frickin' grows, and where it grows on frickin' hills. We're not talking about narrow, little shallow hills. We're talking steep hills, like 30-degree angle hills.
Yeah, so you have to run at them with your lawnmower and go, woo, and then like slide back down.
Pretty much. I ended up taking on a riding lawnmower. I had to do them sideways, so.
You're gonna tip over that way, you know.
No, actually, it's safer to do them sideways than going up them. I've actually had the front wheels off slightly going up them, where I haven't had that problem.
So you gotta
I could actually shift my weight.
You gotta lean over the hood and kind of hang onto the front axle when you go up there. That'll work.
Yeah, what I do is I shift my weight. Literally my edge of my left butt cheek is on the seat. My weight is all over to the side. So, you know, you got almost 300 pounds of me adding the extra balance.
That weighs more than the lawnmower does.
So you can understand it does work.
Yeah, see, with me, I'd have to have my feet on the transmission cover, and I'd be like leaning out like some guy in a sailboat, you know.
Yeah, if I didn't have frickin' hills to deal with, then I could do it all with a push lawnmower.
Mm.
But even the self-propelled push lawnmowers can't handle the hills. So.
No, you should see the hills around my house, man. It's just ridiculous. My yard's 4 feet above the sidewalk, and so just as it gets near the sidewalk, it just plunges down to the sidewalk, and it's just kind of barely grassy side hill.
Yeah, about a third of my yard, the road plunges into my yard. You know, the drop off is in the and then the yard drops off. It's like hit that section, then there's a slight little hill where it's, you know, you can just do it all. Big steep drop off. So.
You know what would work really good? At least for mine, because it's like mine's kind of downhill. You remember those hover mowers? And they were mowers that didn't have wheels. They were just designed in such a way that as the blades spun, they put enough downforce down that the mower would just hover above the grass.
I don't remember those.
Oh, they were just freaking cool. They eventually had to be taken off the market because they got away from people and like chopped off feet and limbs and all kinds of stuff. But they would like hover. So I mean, there was no effort to pushing them. They were hovering on air, and at the same time they were cutting the lawn.
That is awesome.
Oh yeah, and it's like oh great, it'd be for hills. You could stand at the top of the hill and just kind of swing your arm back and forth and just mow the hill. Yeah, they were really neat, and you know they were electric, so they didn't weigh much. But yeah, they took them off the market. I think because, like I say, I mean they probably got away from people. They were like a little flying saucer, you know, maybe 14, 15 inches across. Well, maybe a little more than that, 20 inches across. And like I say, they were flying lawnmowers that would fly about 2 inches above the grass or above the ground and just mow anything down that was underneath that.
Yeah. The only part of my yard I can cut with a push lawnmower is my backyard, and that's still it's slightly hilly. I can't do the front.
I have rocks in my backyard, so.
Yeah, well,
you're
hot for you anyway. Too hot to grow shit.
No, it's not that. I'm just too cheap to. I'm just
too lazy to have a lawn.
Have sprinkler system.
Well, I imagine upkeeping a lawn in the desert would be very difficult.
Yeah, I
Oh,
probably
yeah.
wouldn't want
It's
one.
possible. We have them. I mean, we have a lot of people with them. It's just that that's extra water expenditure right there to keep them.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's got to be a very.
Yeah,
I mean, it's,
environmentally, I wouldn't want one. I mean, when I come down there, I want to park my camper just somewhere where as long as I got power and water, I'm good. I don't need a lawn. I got a piece of turf that looks like lawn. I can put that out there, put my lawn chairs on it, sit out there. Yeah.
hell, if I had my way and I could get away with it, I would not cut my grass. Period. I would just let it grow.
Oh yeah, go for that wild look. My
Exactly.
wife
But
wants to do that.
Yeah,
Bob,
just pour cement and paint it green.
Mm.
Bob, if you're gonna live here, just get yourself an RV and live in the park,
Oh,
an adult
yeah.
park.
Yeah, no. It's like my wife and I have already been looking. We found a really good deal on about a 25-foot fifth wheeler that we're really tempted to buy. Just because my wife looks at it and goes, "It's got a bathroom."
Bob's camper is right there in the side shot.
Yeah.
That'll be Bob's camper.
Yeah, no. Remember when I was younger, I had a 55 Fargo half ton. I was going to build a camper that kind of looked like a gypsy caravan on the back of it, with a deck and a window box. Oh, yeah, that's that camper. That is badass, man.
With this trailer, a compact owner can now join the camper-crowded highways on a weekend trek.
What the hell?
somebody click the link.
Oh, okay.
And by the
Oh,
way,
that
here
was
comes
me.
now.
Sorry, guys. Yeah,
more.
sorry. Yeah. Have you seen that? That is a neat camper, man.
Yes, it is.
Well, like I say, I mean, I had plans to build this like gypsy caravan thing on the back of my 55 Fargo, but then, the truck was so shitty. But I mean, nice shape. Physically, it was just the motor was so god awful slow and 6-cylinder flathead, and I sold it, not realizing because after I sold it, my dad tells me, Mr. Mechanic, who's anyway, he tells me, oh, you could have put a 383 big block in it. You just used the mounts from a 318 big block, and the truck came with it. And I'm like, and you didn't tell me this? Why? He says, because you would have killed yourself. I was like, oh, damn. All that time I had that 6-cylinder flathead I hated with a 6-volt electrical system and everything else. I could have, because back then you could pick up any kind of Chrysler had a 383 in it. It might only have a 4-barrel, like a single 4-barrel on that, but still it put out 300 horsepower, which in a little short wheelbase 1955 Fargo half ton would have been just fucking terrifying.
Yeah. I think the 400 was like the torque version of the 383, wasn't it?
Well, it was the ruined. Like all 400s are ruins of engines that came before them. As far as I'm concerned, I hated the 400 Chrysler engine, hated the Ford 400, the Chevy 400 didn't have anything to do with, but everybody I knew that drove Chevys didn't like them.
Yeah, because my ex's stepdad, he had this, it was an extended cab, dually Dodge.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was an older one, but
yeah.
I tell you what, that thing would haul anything.
Oh well, I mean, yeah, they had that. I mean, what they had done was, in order to make them smog compliant, they went with smaller valves, which gives you more torque, strangely enough. But they had retarded timing and shit like that. And it was, the motor only had 180 horsepower, but it had 300 foot-pounds of torque,
right,
which was a lot in those days, especially from a gas engine, which is, pretty much all you got back then. Diesels were really rare. They were just for, like, semis.
I don't see unless it's for saving fuel. I don't really see the point of a diesel on a small car, on a like a sedan or something like that.
Oh, it's for saving fuel and stuff. Plus, the drivability because of the high torque of the diesels, like those Volkswagen Jettas and what the hell else do they make? It's like a small mid-sized car almost, but they got a diesel. But they'll pull a camper, they'll pull a boat, You know, they got huge amounts of torque, and they get 90 miles to the gallon. Or not 90, 70 anyway. I mean, it's just ridiculous. They're so, and yet to drive them, you would think you're driving a gas-powered four-cylinder Japanese car.
So expensive though. What do you call
Yeah,
this? Diesel's expensive.
Yeah, it's like difference why with my Dodge. Like if I'd bought it with a diesel, I would have paid 10 grand more. And for me, it wasn't practical because I don't use it to haul that often. Mostly, it's to drive back and forth to work. So, 3/4 ton truck's a little excessive for that. But at the same time, I don't. My motor doesn't run that long, so for diesel, that wouldn't be good for it. So yeah, it just made no sense to own a diesel. I mean, prepping wise, diesels are a good idea. Diesel fuel lasts longer.
It lasts longer, and there's a lot more diesel out there because any semi.
Any oil will work. You can use any canola oil. You can use perfume. You can use almost anything in a diesel engine with a little bit of tweaking. There's preheaters like for vegetable oil to make it run in a diesel. And I'm just talking. Just take the vegetable oil, filter it. It's all you do is run it through a filter, and then you preheat it. As long as you can preheat it, it will run in a diesel engine, no problem at all. Drive all day on used grease fat from a restaurant.
Yeah,
but you have to heat it up. It has to be warm in order to work really well.
Yeah, well, and that shit, it's fast situation. Farm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, farm, semi. You can use any of that diesel.
Oh yeah, and farm tractors all have diesel, and yeah, I mean personally in a shit hits fan situation, I ain't going anywhere. I'm too old to run, and too well armed to take over. I still can't decide on my first handgun though.
Yeah, I just got done watching that video on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
On that Beetle, this is 1974. That was getting 18 to 20 miles a gallon, or excuse me, 18 to 20 miles a gallon, hauling that trailer. And that's a freaking Beetle. And you think about the day, you haul a trailer in 18 miles a gallon, you're going, oh my god, that's awesome.
Oh no, the new ultralight trailers they have. You hook them up behind like I say, a Jetta diesel station wagon or something. What the hell, man? You're laughing. You're going to get probably 40 miles to the gallon pulling a trailer.
But the majority of trailers are hauled by what, Bob?
Trucks.
Yep.
And you know why? Because guys need an excuse to have trucks. Because I grew up on the farm, so we had a reason to have trucks. I really don't need a truck. But I like to drive them. They're not that much less efficient than a car, hardly. And plus, I can see over top all the other cars and intimidate the hell out of them.
You do the same thing in an SUV.
No, you can't. An SUV does not intimidate a 3/4 ton truck. Not even close. I'm a good foot above them unless they got lift kits in them.
Well, come on, I drive a Toyota Camry, so.
Oh yeah, I know. Like you, when I get right up on your bumper, I can't see your car anymore. I can maybe see the part of the front of the hood, but other than that, my hood's just higher than that.
That's why I like driving that Tahoe.
Yeah.
Come right up on the people.
Yeah. I want to put a lift kit on the truck, not like a suspension lift, because for me it's useless. I'll never use it. But just a body lift, because
here's where I'm going to make you truck guys jealous. I only fill up my gas tank once a month.
Me too. I have a really big gas tank and I don't drive very far.
Yeah, and what I normally pay for gas for the month is between $30 and $40. So
Yeah, well, I pay 130, but you know.
there you go. You're spending an
I'm
extra
in
100
Canada
more.
though, and our fuel is more expensive. Our fuel's just gone through the roof because of all this bullshit going on in Iraq.
Oh, trust
So
me, so
why?
is ours, Bob.
Mm.
It's $3.70 a gallon, and we get less
Well,
gallon.
we're
We've got the improved gallon.
we're at $1.30 a liter, so that's we get 4 liters per gallon roughly. So you know we're paying 4.5 something a gallon.
$5.20.
Yeah.
The ours jumped up to $3.99.
Seeing it comes out of my backyard.
You know what? I think the reason that's the case because I think ISIS was sent there by the oil companies or something like that. It's like, crap, we're gonna have to lower the price of oil. Let's do something.
Yeah. You know what? I mean that's not that far fetched, Chris.
No,
It
what it was.
might not be that simple, but you might be able to take that 6 degrees of separation and go, well, they did this and they did that and they supplied some money to here and here and here and like, oops.
No, what it is, it's all the green companies saying that we got to drive this price of oil so expensive that people are going to be forced to switch to our power.
You know what else it makes you wonder though is how come this ISIS with about 1,000 guys can take out Iraq in what, a couple of weeks? It took the American military how long? And how much money?
Oh, it's been less
How
than a
many
couple
guys?
weeks.
Yeah, I mean it was
Well,
just
the
like,
Americans.
yeah, but these are a bunch of guys with AK-47s like in stolen Toyotas. I mean,
The Americans were following a rule of war. We couldn't destroy a temple. We couldn't, or to say a mosque. We couldn't hurt innocent civilians. So we had all these rules that we had to follow.
yeah,
These guys
it
don't
just
have
means
the
we're
follow.
fighting the war the wrong way.
No, we just can't go in there with
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. I saw the banner. I saw the. Hey, I landed on an aircraft carrier. Boy, that's the first time I've flown since I was snorting all that coke in university.
I was just we can't roll in there with 1,000 tanks and every building we see just blow up.
Yeah, but you know what? But they don't. And these guys. The worst part is, you know, this American-trained Iraqi army that's like taking off their uniforms and running away.
I know. Dropping their guns.
Yeah. And then when these assholes that are chasing them catch them, they fucking kill them. You know.
And they pick up the guns.
Yeah. Yeah, and they pick up the guns and the fucking Humvees and the, you know, Bradleys and everything else they're grabbing.
Yep.
Bullshit, man.
All I gotta say, if a country wants to take care of it, make it a different country than the U.S. We don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, now the U.S. is going to partner with Iran. Like, really? What the hell's going? This is like one of those alternate universes, you know?
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, this is what I thought when I heard it on the news over the weekend that Iran is sending troops over to help protect holy sites.
And America's maybe gonna protect, like give them air cover with their aircraft carriers. It's like, what? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I'm like, when I saw that, I'm like, do you really mean Iran? I thought they misspoke.
Yeah, I know.
Going in there to protect. I thought maybe they'd go in there.
It's one way to get some stability in there.
Yeah, well, I guess.
But you know what?
I don't
Who's
know.
going to be pissed off?
Yeah, I'm just at the point, like, see, this is the worst part, is I'm at the point where I think we should just pull back and let those fuckers do whatever.
Yeah.
You know, oh, I'm just going to protect my coast, you guys settle it yourselves. I'm out of here, right? I know I have businesses here. Well, that's their problem. You know, if they want to do business with you guys, then they, deal with you. I'm not going to.
A lot of American businesses, a lot of rich people in America depend on destabilized regions of the world to make a shitload of money.
Yeah.
The government is not going to just pull out. So.
I know. But that's, this again, what I say is what's wrong with government is they have no common sense.
Yeah, like we're pulling out of Afghanistan, but we're going to leave. Yeah, I'm gonna say we're pulling out of Afghanistan. We're gonna leave about 4,300 troops over there. That's not pulling out of Afghanistan.
No, that's 4,300. That's a lot for a
Yeah,
military group in that area.
yeah, exactly.
Now, if you had a local militia group with 4,300 people, you'd be going like, "Wow, that's a pretty big, dangerous militia."
Oh, speaking of Afghanistan, I started watching this show on Netflix. Oh, I forgot the name, but it's actually not bad. It's not great, but it's
About
not
a
bad. It's
hospital
about
unit.
yeah, it's basically about paratroopers that go behind, go in
Oh,
and rescue the injured
oh no, I haven't seen that
injured
one.
servicemen, whether it be allies or U.S.
Yeah,
They go in by, Blackhawks and
pararescue.
yeah, pararescue.
Yeah.
And it's actually what you're seeing, with the stuff that's filmed at the base is filmed by, cameramen, but what's filmed in the field is actually done on like GoPros that the
Oh yeah.
troops are wearing. Yeah.
So it's real?
So what you see in the field is real. They don't have they don't send civilians in there. It's all troops with GoPros on, and
And they're actually rescuing people?
yeah, they're rescuing people. They're picking up like this injured serviceman was they got hit by an IED.
Oh, really?
Coming in
That'd be
there
kind of
and they're
cool.
medevacing him out.
Well,
Yeah,
it's not cool, but I mean that'd be interesting to see.
it's very interesting to see. I'm through the first 2.5 episodes. I find it very interesting what the
I know there was a sitcom for a couple of seasons. It was kind of like a MASH, but it was Afghanistan, and it was based around a Canadian doctor, but there was Australian doctors. And it was some kind of medical base in Afghanistan, and the troops they get in, and what shit would go on, kind of like MASH, right? But a more
Mhm.
updated version. It was decent. I was kind of disappointed when they actually ended after a couple seasons.
I never even heard about it. Must have been a Canadian only type or
Oh, probably, yeah. I mean, it's like that movie I talk about, Orphan, or not movie, series Orphan Black, which is just like gone through the roof, for ratings. And it's just this one female character plays, I think it's up to 9 or 10 different clones in this in this TV series, and it's just like, holy fuck! How do you keep them all straight? Because they're all different. They've all been raised differently, and they're different, but but they all have different haircuts. It's just like one's a soccer mom, one's a scam artist, one's an assassin, one's a
sounds like
scientist.
yeah, it sounds like she's got multiple personality disorder.
Well, no, it's they're all sensible. That I mean, they're a little the Ukrainian assassin, the one that was raised as a Ukrainian assassin for the church. She's a little nutty, but you know you kind of like her. She's crazy and terribly violent and really good at what she does, but at the same time you kind of like her. She's kind of twisted, but in a right way. Anyway, yeah, it's just a great
Hey,
series.
Okay.
Bob, have you seen Game of Thrones? Have you seen Game of Thrones at all?
Oh, I watched a couple of episodes. I thought it was kind of silly.
Oh,
Didn't like it. Yeah, I
Bob's too
I
old
didn't
to
like
get-
it.
He's too old to get into the fantasy sci-fi. It's a
Oh
fantasy.
no, I like sci-fi, but I just that to me that's you know, it just didn't never grab me. I mean,
you need to watch it.
no, I mean I liked Falling Skies. I hated that one where apparently all the power had been killed or something, but some people with special rings could make computers work again. That was just silly.
Oh, what was that?
But,
one?
Resurrection or something, or
Yeah,
Revolution.
Revolution.
Revolution. Yeah, that was stupid. But
Well,
Falling
I
Skies was
watched
good.
the.
That was
You know,
actually, a lot of the shit they did made sense, and they used like a lot. There was a lot of shooting, a lot of aliens getting their asses blown off. But
no, in Revolution, The problem with it, the very first episode, they go that, all electricity basically is gone. The physics has changed. Guess what? The same physics that run a battery run the human body.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We are a battery. We produce electric signals all the time.
Yep. That's
We
how our
would
nervous
be,
system works.
we would be dead too. So that totally ruined the whole thing for me. And it's like, I couldn't even watch it. So I'm like, I made it like halfway through the first episode. I'm like, nope, this is getting a nothing for me.
You know what else? You know what else? No bicycles. That just drives me nuts about these like end of the world scenarios. Oh, we got no power, we got no fuel, whatever. Nobody's riding a bicycle? Bicycles last basically forever. There's millions of them there. Oh, for God's sakes, everybody would be riding fucking bicycles.
Yeah. Well, here's the sad thing. You see the television show Under the Dome?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're bringing that back later this month, maybe? Or maybe it's next month. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
Here's a problem with it. It was only supposed to be a mini-series.
Yeah. Well, I watched the first couple episodes, and then it started to get stupid.
And I thought they could have easily ended it after 13. Now they're going to stretch it out for another 13. I'm wondering how much of a train wreck this is going to be.
Yeah,
I thought it was good until... And then it started trailing off toward the end, but I thought it was good for the first couple months.
When they jump the shark, I mean that's the whole thing. It's and that's what it's called in the biz too. Is when a series jumps a shark. Because remember when
in Happy Days when the Fonz jumped the shark on the water skis.
That was the point at which it was done. They should have So they always want to end them before you jump the shark. Some series like Seinfeld did it. I mean, they actually ended before they jumped the shark, I thought.
Although the last episode is arguably the worst.
Last episode's stupid, but...
The last episode, they tried to wrap it up to where they started.
Yeah, and well, they all went to jail and stuff.
Yeah, the last episode was what ruined... That last episode jumped the shark, so...
Yeah.
They should have stopped one episode before that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But they wanted to end it, right? And unfortunately, that was their episode. They jumped the shark.
Now there are shows that have gone on.
They've done it and gone on for another 2 seasons, and it's just like, oh god.
Yeah. There are shows that did end on top. Great one, Cheers.
Yeah, Cheers did it.
They cut it off right when it was at its peak. It was the highest ratings ever, and
the Kelsey Grammer show where he did the show with his brother, or his.
Yeah, that was a play. That wasn't actually a spin-off.
He was a psychiatrist.
It was a spin-off. It was a spin-off.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't a spin-off.
Yeah, he had the same wife.
Same wife, same story. It's a spin-off.
It technically isn't a spin-off because it wasn't anything to do with Cheers.
No, they just they ignored Cheers, but it's the same character.
It's not even the same character. He wasn't even playing. It wasn't even the same.
Yeah, Yes, he was. He was Kelsey Grammer, or not Kelsey.
No, his ex-wife Lilith, showed up in that show a couple of times.
Yes, he had an ex-wife.
But that was actually
son. I mean, it was popularity. He was the same guy. He had left the city that he used to live in with Cheers and moved to a different city to be a radio host instead of a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that's a myth. It was never designed to be a spin-off of Cheers.
Well, it was.
What they did, like, if you ever watch... Okay, I'm going to use this example because we were talking about this earlier. Last Man Standing. Okay?
I don't remember that show.
You've never seen it, but it's the one with Tim Allen in it, from... What's the name of that show? Home Improvement. There we go.
Guess right. Tool Time was a fictional show.
Yes.
Well, that's the one I liked.
Yes, but what they did with Home Improvement, you got Tim Allen, and they bring in these, I call them inside jokes. It's like, he'll do I think he did the grunting in one episode. They brought back the kid who played with his son, who's got a reoccurring role in the show. So would you say that's a spin-off of Home Improvement, even though it's not because they got to say a couple of same characters?
Is he
It's
going by the
not.
same name? Is he going by the same name?
What was his name in Tool Time? Or not Tool Time, but Home Improvement?
Same thing. Tim something. It was Tim. His name was Tim.
I think he goes by Tim and too.
They could do it two ways. Done two ways. It could be done as an independent show where they just happen to use the same character but in a different universe, or a spin-off. So
It's not a spin-off, but
no.
they do the jokes.
It could be a same character in a different universe, or a spin-off. So it could be, so you can consider either or until you like look into it a little deeper. So you have to, you have to wiki it. But
He goes
all
by
I know
Mike
is
Baxter.
Kelsey Grammer played the exact same
Oh
character.
yeah, it's Mike. It's Mike. So
Mike
Yeah.
Baxter, yeah.
Hey, Chris, did you see my new maraca?
Woohoo! Oh, by the way, Falling Skies is coming back next Sunday.
What's that?
Falling Skies new season coming back next Sunday.
Fallen Skies. Oh, right on. Fucking A. I love that show.
Yeah, I just finished watching the last 3 episodes of it from the
Yeah?
last season. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, cool, man. I'm glad you liked it. Because it is really, I've watched every episode, I think.
I love humans fighting aliens with AKs.
I know! Like, what could be better than, like, having alien invaders? That would be the best thing that could happen in the world. Well, at least for the parts of the world where we had guns. It'd really suck for the parts of the world where you didn't. I wouldn't want to be in England. Oh, I've got a pellet gun! Oh, I've got a ray gun!
California will be flattened.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there'd be a lot of people reassembling magazines.
No. In California, it'll be like, wait a minute, when you get there, we're fighting the aliens. No. I said, you can't have that. You can't have that. You can't have that.
Yeah. Oh, no, it'd be more like, oh, wait, we're going to bring the aliens flowers because we're peaceful. And then they'll get zapped and, the rest of the people run around in circles. And go, oh, my God, the police should be here right away. Keep running in circles.
Just like, what do you call this, Independence Day, when they greeted the aliens on the rooftops.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. That's exactly what you imagine it to be like, right?
isn't Falling Skies the one with a really, really bad CGI?
No, well, it's not bad. I don't know. It depends. If you grew up like I did with like the sci-fi shows that had threads from the spaceships, going by with firecrackers,
here's
sparklers
the thing.
for engines.
When I watched it, you could obviously tell it was horribly done. Deep budget CGI. It looks like it was done by a 3rd grader.
On Falling Skies?
Yeah.
No.
The aliens look so horrible.
No, they actually don't. No, not later in the season. Maybe at the start they did, but you hardly ever saw them at the start.
Well, I remember in the grocery store. I was watching a few episodes. I can't remember if it was on where I saw it, but I saw it like we were in this grocery store and these frickin' aliens. It was like you could actually see space between where they were stepping and like what they were stepping on.
Like the 6-legged skittering ones?
Yeah, it was like they weren't even touching the ground.
No, I didn't see that.
It was that bad, and they looked like they were just horribly done.
Yeah, the ones I remember seeing where they had one captured in a cage, I thought they did pretty good on the alien in that. And later on, they actually interact with the aliens a lot more.
Maybe
it was just a learning curve with the CGI people.
It could be, but when you do something like that to me, you're gonna lose my attention pretty damn fast.
A few episodes further along and see and then you go, oh well, now it's fixed.
Mark, it's called suspending disbelief. That's what I always do when I watch something. I use my own imagination sometimes.
That's right. It's
there's a point
it's
where I'm
like
watching
reading a book.
television. I don't.
When you read a book, you have to make all the pictures in your own head.
Right, and when I read the book, I expect to do that. I don't want to do that for a television show.
Oh, what you do is just kind of close your eyes. Well, you shouldn't have a problem. Take your glasses off. Everything would just seem real to you then. Blurry, but real.
Oh no, that's what got me with that show. That's why I tried to watch it. I thought the story was halfway decent. If the story
Oh, the
maybe was
story's
better at the
great.
start,
Yeah.
if the story was
Every-
better at the start, I could have gotten into it.
Didn't you love the opening though, where they did the opening where they got little kids where when the aliens first came, blah, and they killed all the soldiers. Now mums and dads have to fight, and it's like,
Yeah, I did
oh
like the
yeah,
beginning.
like.
That was good. I'll give you that, but it was the rest of it. I just didn't. I couldn't get into it. The
You know what?
CGI was
You
bad.
had to, yeah, you had to kind of suspend the. I mean, there's not going to always be the best CGI, especially on something like a TV series, right?
Oh, that's
You
what
gotta remember,
I
I
was
grew up with a
going.
$6 million man, you know.
I was going in with low expectations too. I wasn't going. This is going to be watching the newest Star Wars or
Yeah.
Star Trek, where the CGI was going to be through the roof. I was going in. Okay, it's going to be a television show. It's going to be low budget.
Yeah.
It was
He's
lower than I expected.
He's worth 60 million now, with inflation.
Oh yeah.
The $6 million man is now $60 million with inflation.
Oh yeah, I know. And he wouldn't be able to do as much stuff, but
And
he'd have an iPod he could access.
and he's gonna have to do upgrades, so that's gonna increase his cost.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a show on the spring, which is called. It was called Intelligence on CBS. They canceled it, and I can understand why they canceled it. It wasn't the greatest, but I like the premise that this guy has basically got like a immediate internet connection in his head that was installed there with his computer chip, and he's able to access all this information and redo all these crime scenes. And when he steps into these crime scenes, it's like he's in on holograph. So you can walk around it and look at all different angles, and that was a really cool part about it. The sad part was not well written. So I understood why it got canceled, but I like some of the stuff they did.
Yeah, that'd be kind of neat.
Sadly, a lot of good shows got canceled this year.
Yeah, I guess.
Some of them, well, Community getting canceled, I think, is a good thing. That one almost jumped the shark. It was getting really close to jumping the shark on Community, so that was good that they canceled after 5. And Psych went out on a high point. They actually stopped. They quit. They weren't cut. They weren't canceled. They quit. They went out on their own terms. At a peak, another one that didn't jump the shark. I love the series that can wrap everything up without jumping the shark. Monk was another one that was on USA that didn't jump the shark.
Monk?
Monk, yes.
Never heard of it.
It's about a detective that has OCD.
Oh.
He's a germaphobe. He's got to do things a certain way, and he's the detective. His wife was killed, and before he started with the series, his wife was killed. He was on the police force as a detective. His wife was the one that kept him, I'll call it sane, for lack of a better word.
So after she was killed, he went nuts.
Yes, it has Tony Shalhoub in it.
Came to work with an AR-15 and gunned down all his fellow employees.
Yeah, and now he works as a private detective for the police force as a consultant. He's got all these OCD issues, and you can actually see it on Netflix. It's called Monk. It stars Tony Shalhoub, who is a freaking brilliant actor.
Yeah.
If you know who he is, television shows Wings. You've seen Wings?
Yeah.
He's a taxi driver.
Yeah.
That one help you? So you haven't seen Monk, watch it on Netflix.
Eh.
You'll get a blast out of it because it's funny and it's entertaining and it's
I don't have time.
sensible. But they managed, I think he went on for 8 seasons on USA Network, and
Yeah.
he won the whatever the television award program is for, what is it, Emmys?
Oh yeah.
The show won awards for that, so it was, critically acclaimed. He was, nominated for Best Actor so many frickin' times for that show. And the cool thing, he's from Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Yeah. I guess if you like people from Wisconsin. Wisconsin.
Yes, Wisconsin. No, I just had to mention that because that's a cool fact.
Oh, crappers. I just
Did
saw
you
a gun
know
that's
that-
selling here for $500 that I could have bought for $200 at my local
Whoops.
gun store. Oh.
By the way, you know what was manufactured, designed, and made in Wisconsin? A typewriter. It was invented in Wisconsin.
Hmm.
And I know, Bob, you're old enough to remember what a typewriter is.
Yes, I had several. Both electric and manual, so there. I actually preferred the manual because I do type with a very heavy fingers, and I type one finger on each hand.
Yep.
And I break keyboards. That's why with a laptop I have to be really careful. I don't want to break the keyboard on it.
Oh wow, that thing breaks down.
I know,
All
isn't
the
that
way.
cool? And my local gun shop had one, and it was actually chromed. And I was looking for a 410, but it was just, this thing was so hard. The hammers were so hard to pull back. I could barely pull them back myself, and I thought, well, kids are never going to be able to. So I didn't buy it, but damn, I probably could have just took them off and polished some shit and got them to cock nicer, but I thought it was so cool. It folded down like that. Like, son of a bitch, that's a short little shotgun. Yet it's still got decent barrels, and it's 410. It ain't chicken shit.
Yeah.
You load a 410 with slugs, and it's basically like a 45 long Colt.
Yep. I'm trying to think of other television shows that ended that didn't jump the shark.
Yeah. I haven't watched television shows in so freaking long. It's like I say. I mean, it's The Walking Dead and Falling Skies, and that's about it. I mean, otherwise, I go to YouTube and go History Channel stuff. Oh, I haven't seen the one on mosquito fighters for a couple of years now.
The Walking Dead was actually a final Jeopardy question either this week or last week. It's actually the question.
You spend
Which
way
was
too
me
much
the
time
answer.
in front of TV, Quark.
I like Jeopardy. It's on for a freaking half hour, and I learned stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the question was dealing with the director of one of the zombie movies, saying that he was asked to actually direct The Walking Dead, and an episode of The Walking Dead, and he refused because The Walking Dead is just a soap opera.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Quark,
Funny.
Yeah.
did you see, the last 2 episodes of Game of Thrones?
Yep.
All right. What did you think of the battle of the Watchers on the Wall? That whole episode.
The battle?
Yeah, the
It
battle
went
in
pretty-
Castle Black.
It went pretty much as the books did, except actually Snow did kill the redhead.
Well, she
John
didn't kill her. He didn't. He didn't get the killer. It was he just
No, but Snow actually kills the redhead in the books.
on the books. Oh, the girl.
Yeah, he actually kills the girl in the books.
Okay,
He runs
a
a
lot of-
sword through her.
Okay, a lot of that. Yeah, there were a lot of deviations, but then again, they were trying to go off. What's his name? J.R.R. Martin's trying to go off book a little bit more.
George R.R. Martin.
Yep.
Well, he's trying to get people to buy the books and read them.
Mhm.
So no, the wall was pretty well done. I really did enjoy it. You know, I did not expect a full episode on it, and it was a full episode, and I thought it was cool.
Oh yeah, I love that it was a full episode. That way they can, you know, do everything on it. So
Yeah, the battle for the tunnel under the wall was disappointing. I was hoping to see more giant action.
oh yeah, I was hoping I was that they were gonna do something about that, but
Show
I
that
guess they wanted.
that's
I think they wanted to suspense that they make that suspenseful or something.
well, no, actually the battle is drawn out in the books. The
Oh no,
giant kills a lot more than 5, if I remember correctly. And the
there were
giant
6 in
dying
there.
down there, or 6, yeah, whatever it was. Actually, the giant ends up clogging the tunnel and stops the people from the wildlings from getting through.
Yep. Oh
Oh
yeah.
man, speaking of that, I watched a really cheesy sci-fi movie where a guy accidentally shot through a window, and he happened to be a very rotund guy, and he got they were in space, so of course it sucked him out the window, butt first, right? And he first hits the window, and he's like, oh, 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 and then you see him kind of going, oh, and you can just what's happening, right? His guts are getting pulled out through his arsehole.
Now the last night's episode was well done.
Oh yeah, with all that stuff,
Arya going overseas.
she's gonna become an assassin pretty soon, so that's the way it's supposed to be. And then the Hound getting killed by his butt handed to him by a woman.
Yeah. Yeah, that went pretty much.
Granted, she is tough. I'll give her that.
Yeah. Brienne from
Yep.
the Sapphire Isles, yes.
Yep.
And Arya is gonna become. I won't ruin. I'll try not to ruin.
Oh, you don't spoil me.
Yeah,
you don't spoil me.
there's so much that goes on. And they're basically through book 2 now.
Yeah, there's gonna be generalizations. There's gonna be a lot of generalizations. So on what's gonna happen. So it's not like it's.
If I
already
remember
know what's gonna happen.
correctly, only what you consider
see you guys.
two of the main.
I'm gonna split now.
Take care, Bob.
All right,
later, Bob.
guys.
Yep, see you, Bob.
Yeah. Of the main characters that are still left that haven't been killed off, there's still plenty more to kill off.
There's a lot of people to kill off,
Oh, hell yeah. But I loved how they did that, except Tywin did not kill his father quite the exact same way that he did at the end.
Oh,
he only put...
Tyrion.
Yeah, Tyrion, there we go. He only put one shaft in his father in the book. It happened in the privy, but he let his father suffer. In the book, he let his father suffer, and in the TV show, it was one there and the one in the head.
Well, too bad Bob left, because I'm reading through my comments here. Fucking Canadians are fucking with me again about my Mosin.
Don't worry.
Oh no, I was just saying is, hey, maybe we should have a recoil pad. And then it says maybe for an American. It's like, man, fuck y'all.
Yeah, don't let them bug.
So no, I'm just like, it's just funny. It's like, so basically, Canadians are better can handle better recoil than we do. Well, that's nice considering you guys wear more clothes than we do.
Yeah, it's the middle of summer and you're still wearing, 5 layers.
Yeah.
You basically, when you live in Canada, you got built-in padding. All the clothes you wear now, but seriously, it's not that big of a deal.
I know. Well, the thing is, I'm trying to put my input on this. They're trying to do another Mosen challenge for like 100-yard accuracy test, and I told them we should have a category for scope too, so you don't leave people out. And then they say, oh yeah, we sure we're gonna try to be fair. And then Gun Geek comes in and says, how about recoil pads?
Let him be the way he is. He's gonna be that way.
Oh, I know. I don't talk to him anymore anyway, but
Yeah.
well, got me my 74 break.
You got another one? How many are you gonna get?
No, this is it. No, I made a mistake last time. I got a cage flash hider and not a break, so I need to get
Okay.
So I needed a break. So I might as well get me one of these anyway. So I'm gonna try to maybe later on get more breaks just to try out to see what the best one is. I'm gonna try to see if I can raise up the price a little bit and get the more customized breaks. But
Yeah,
also,
you can modify those brakes a lot of ways. So.
and at the same time too, I can I'm gonna go ahead and get another maybe one day I'll get another AK. So I like to have multiple brakes for multiple AKs. So I'm gonna get me an NPAP next year.
Yeah. Oh, I go back to the Game of Thrones topic here for a second. Tonight I made it official. I started rereading Game of Thrones because I'm like, I'm forgetting what's happening. The book and the TV shows are starting to get crossed over. Which one happens where?
You're not reading Game of Thrones. You're reading what do you call this? Ice and Fire or
Song of
something?
Fire.
Fire, Ice and Fire. Yeah.
The song Ice and Fire or Fire and Ice, whatever way it goes, it's yeah. That's the thing. Normally series are given a name. That's what the authors do. That it's a whole series that they plan to do, and then it's like everybody knows it by the first book title, which is Game of Thrones. Like Robert Jordan, it's a Wheel of Time series, but the first book is a Wheel of Time. There's another one of my favorite authors is Tad Williams, and he does a series. The series name is Memory, Sorrow, and Faith. I think the name of the series is, but the first book is The Dragonbone Chair. But everybody that knows the series just calls it the Dragonbone Chair series instead of Memory, Sorrow, and Faith. I think I'm pretty sure it's Faith.
Wow. Apparently, there is no. They haven't gotten reviews and footage yet of Brienne versus Hound.
Really?
No.
Yeah, that was a pretty low down, dirty fight on both sides.
Oh yeah. With a rock too.
Yeah, she still didn't kill him. Yeah, she knocked him off the cliff.
Yeah, he's if he comes back to life, that'll be be awesome. That'll be awesome. But he's dead. Yeah, no.
No, Arya left him there to suffer.
Yep.
She has gone past that. She is going to be quite the assassin. That's where she's going, and that's basically she is going to be in training.
I feel bad. That used to be a very well-united family, and now it's like just a only person with
Bran. Yeah, Bran become is going to be the new three-eyed raven.
Yeah, pretty much the Stark family's gone. Like, gone. Like, there's
You've got
no...
Rickon, yeah, Rickon, which is the youngest kid left, and Jon Snow, and
Oh, okay.
Arya Stark. Those are the three you're gonna... Not Arya, what's her name? The pretty
Sansa.
one. Sansa
Sansa.
Stark, there we go.
Yeah, she's the one that's being played. She's like the last heir, according to them, is the last heir of the Stark family. So she's being moved around, manipulated, so they can take take the whole Winterfell. Even though Winterfell's pretty much gone too.
Yep. Yep, we got Stannis. You got Stannis at the wall, which...
Oh yeah, that was an awesome scene where it's like that whole army nearly freaking pummeled the wall, that 100,000, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, what gets me here is Stannis' army, which is only 1,000. Yeah,
only 4, maybe 6, 7,000 if he was able to hire
he's
some
in
folks.
the thousands, and they're supposed to have 100,000 wildlings. Where are the 100,000 wildlings?
Here's the thing, though: you can knock an army around, no matter the number, with the right amount. He had complete surprise.
Yes, but
complete surprise, and they had no cavalry.
Right now, if you threw you threw 6,000 American troops in the middle of
well, that's different. I'm
China,
about...
where their population's so huge, 6,000 versus 100,000, they can afford to pile the bodies up.
You gotta understand that in terms of what do they call this? In gun warfare, see that sometimes when you're doing warfare, in gun warfare, yes, there's a chance, there's an equal chance of getting through. When the warfare, when most of your troops are foot, not much maneuverable, and they can go into the heart of the camp immediately and split you up, and with cavalry, yeah, it's pretty much gone. But besides,
what I'm getting at
men,
here, Chris,
they have nothing.
If the wildlings really wanted to kill Southerners, and they don't, you got to remember too, the wildlings do not really follow a king. This king beyond the wall is just a fake, not a real title. They don't follow any leader.
Yeah.
They're tribes. So if they're really bloodthirsty, they wouldn't care about the king beyond the wall. They would have just surrounded his whole troop. I don't care if you got 6,000 on horseback, 100,000 men. Just the number alone. You're talking 6,000 are going to have to kill roughly 14 people. Each one troop's going to have to kill 140. It's 140 to 1. Remember, if my math is correct.
Well, maybe you got more men.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. 140 to 1. I don't care what your training is, and if you're you're on a horseback and you're a great soldier, you're facing 140 wild, blood crazed people. You are not gonna survive. You might take 10, 15, 20 down, but everyone you take down, there's 10 more take his place.
Okay. Well, whatever he did, if they timed it right, it's all about timing, maneuverability, and hitting where, hitting the right location, basically. So that will play into it. Yeah, you're right. But if he had enough men, if he was able to muster at least 25 to 30,000, even 50,000, and most of them being cavalry.
If that's the case, yeah. I can't remember the number of troops he actually brought with him to the wall.
But he had majority of them were cavalry, so...
All of them were cavalry, really.
Yeah.
All of them. The foot can't keep up with the cavalry, so it's all cavalry.
Well, his leading edge then he probably has a...
He had a pincer move on him, too. He got the camp from both sides, if you didn't notice that.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah. So he's... so that was brilliant, though. I mean, that was a complete surprise right there. So.
Yeah, it was a complete surprise. But what gets me this is why I'm suspending disbelief, because I can't remember what happens in the book. That's what drives me crazy. I want to know what happens in the book, but You got 100,000 people, and you're supposedly the leader of these 100,000. What are you doing on the outskirt? Because that's the only way you can really get a pincer move if you're on the outskirt. You can't go pincer move and get right into the middle when you've got 50,000 people on both sides.
He did not expect what do you call it? He did not expect an offensive.
Yeah, I'm just saying that you just couldn't surprise him. That's what I'm getting at with that, because there's too many people.
He did not expect the counteroffensive. Yeah, he did not expect the counteroffensive. He did not expect people, would actually attack him. He expected the only people who he's going to face are going to be the Night's Watch, because they're the only ones there that he thinks. No one. He thought that the nearest army would take days before they can even gather force near the wall.
Oh, yeah, that is true. He was only expecting, and he knew that the number was in the, actually less than 100 people at the Black Castle, so. Or Night's Watch, there we go, Night's Watch. Oh, no, the Black Castle, yeah. So, the King Beyond the Wall knew, Mance Rayder knew what he was facing on the wall.
Man, the zombie attack, those skeletons.
Yes, and that's what drove me crazy. Was in the book, it's White Walkers were what was chasing.
It's funny though, like when he was lying there in the ground and he was like, oh my God, I'm being stabbed! Help! He was just so helpless right there.
He knew that his time had come. He wasn't going any farther.
Yeah, it's just funny. It's like, oh hi, oh wow, you're stabbing me. Oh, okay, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, his whole purpose was to get Bran to the Three-Eye Raven.
Yeah.
So that was his whole purpose, and he got him and his sister there, and she was supposed to live. And we do, the children are real. That's in the book as well, and I'm saying real is what goes on in the book. I don't think they're quite as magical as they make them seem in the TV. And that's the thing, I can't remember if they're as magical. In other words, be able to throw out fireballs.
I think there were more grenades than fireballs, because she was like picking him, she was like taking him out of something and then throwing him.
Well, that's a possibility. I have to go back and watch, and I normally do once a season. I'll go back and watch them all, and just binge watch the whole season.
Hodor would make a much better fighter if he had.
He wasn't a dimwit.
Yeah. It had to be freaking possessed before he can do that.
Yes, that's Hodor character. I remember his backstory. I was like kicked in the head by a mule or something like that as a kid. But the traveling north, they actually, in the book, it's like half the book is them traveling north.
Mm.
That whole group, and the Wildling Woman and Bran and Hodor and Summer the direwolf, of course. No, wait, it wasn't. Never mind, it wasn't the Wildling Woman. It was the. Why am I saying the Wildling Woman took Rickon and Shaggy? But it was Bran, the two people. I can never remember their names. I'm driving me crazy. And they're basically the whole time running away from White Walkers. They're basically starving to death before they fight the Three-Eyed Raven, and even Summer was the one who go down and hunt down these White Walkers. For some reason, a direwolf could kill a White Walker and then feast on its flesh, but doesn't get much nourishment from the flesh.
What is this? Valyrian Steel and Dragon Scale is the only thing that can kill him?
Dragon Glass.
Dragon Glass.
Yep.
Which, how many, what do you call this? Sam has some of those.
Yep. Yep, that works. But those are the only two things that can kill a White Walker, besides like
Mhm.
fire.
Well, they got. I mean, they can get Valerian steel.
Nobody can make it anymore.
Doesn't Arya have a Valerian steel sword?
Snow does.
Oh, just Snow?
Yeah, I think Snow is the only one on the wall that has Valerian steel.
There's some Valerian. Oh wait. What do you call this? Brienne has one.
Yes, that was given to her by Jamie.
Jamie, yeah.
Yep, she has one.
And I think Arya has one. Arya's needle is Valerian.
No, it's normal steel.
Okay, I didn't thought of that.
There's only a couple of smiths that can reforge.
Let me wiki this up here. See who's got Valerian steel.
I think it's Jamie, whichever younger brother, and I can't remember the younger brother's name, of Joffrey now has Joffrey's Valerian steel sword.
Okay, these are the Valerian steels. Okay, hold on. Which swords are Valerian steel? Okay, Eddard Stark's sword is Valerian.
Eddard, yeah, which was made into the one that Brienne has and the one that Joffrey had.
Okay, Dark Sister, longsword of House Targaryen, held by Visenya Targaryen, now lost. Ice, ancestral greatsword of House Stark, captured by House Lannister when Eddard Stark was taken prisoner and used by Ilyn. Pain, to behead Lord Stark. Okay, after the Red Wedding and defeat of House Stark, Tywin Lannister had it melted down. Oh yeah, to two smaller swords. One gifted to... okay. Okay, so he had it split up. Okay.
Yep.
Oathkeeper, first longsword made from ice. Okay, to Brienne of Tarth. Okay. Widow's Wall, the second longsword made from ice, given to Joffrey.
Whale.
Okay.
Widow's Whale.
Whale, yeah, whale. I call it whale. Okay. Long Claw. Okay, there you go. To Jon Snow. Okay.
Yep.
Well, there you go. That's why. So.
Yeah, basically you gotta be a lord to have Valerian steel. Not cheap.
Nope. You have to be of some, only that's very small. That's very small amount of steel. So.
Yep. Are you a big reader?
Yeah, I read from time to time.
Okay. Well, they do the Game of Thrones series.
I know. I'm thinking about it. It's just I don't know. It's just I need to do that, but I get spoiled with the show. So I do read a lot, especially the World of Warcraft series, a lot of different old what do you call this, Dungeons and Dragons series and stuff like that, and the occasional sci-fi.
So you're like me. I read a lot of fantasy and a little sci-fi. So that's cool. Yeah, if you haven't read Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan, then written by Christopher something or other, I can't remember his name because Robert Jordan died before the series was completed. But the nice thing about when Robert Jordan knew he was going to die, he was given a prognosis of this disease, and he knew how long he had. So before he died, he actually passed on the storyline and how it was supposed to unfold. And so, it was just somebody else putting words to that storyline.
What was what do you call this? The last sci-fi book I've read, other than that's not a World of Warcraft series, was what do you call this? It's about I forgot the title. It's just like different titles of it. It's a trilogy. It's like what do you call this? A modern like a 21st century war fleet gets transported in time to World War II. So it's pretty good. It's pretty interesting.
Does sound actually pretty decent.
Oh yeah. So basically, and the technology gets spread around because it gets spread apart. Not one single country. U.S. gets the majority of the tech. The Allies get the majority of the tech, but the Nazis get them too. The Russians get them the tech. So they start using what do you call it? Tablets. They start using tablets and using Windows computers to try
It
to try
kind
to
of
adapt
reminds.
technology.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of, like, I can't remember the story, but it's set in the Civil War where the AK-47 was.
Oh yeah,
sent back
oh yeah,
to
that's Harvey Turtle Dove. That's Guns of the South.
Guns of the South. There we go. I haven't read that one, but it sounds really good, and it's one I'm looking at.
Oh, I read it. It's very good. It's all about I forgot all of the middle part, but it's all about South Africans wanting to they want to continue slavery.
Wow. Okay.
It's like the reason why they want the South to win is so they can continue slavery and keep the black man down.
Yeah. The last sci-fi. Well.
But the problem was, even as the South was winning, they decided, they were seeing that they were trying to abolish slavery. All of a sudden, they were trying to feel like slavery was wrong.
Yeah. Last sci-fi / fantasy book I read was. It's actually called Happy Hour in Hell. It's a series based on Ted Williams wrote. First one is called Dirty Streets of Heaven. And this is the second book in that series, and my first book is actually autographed by the author, which is really cool. I was actually almost debating just getting the paperback version, so I won't read the autograph version, just keep it a pristine mint. But I didn't do that. But that's basically this, angels are in human form on the earth, and how they do all this work, and how heaven and hell are. Well, heaven is kind of like a corrupt system, and it's a really interesting take on the whole heaven and hell and religious aspect of belief. Yeah, you definitely don't have to be religious to actually enjoy this story. I'm not religious at all, so. But that's me. It's the Bobby Dollar series. It's a angel detective type series. He writes a whole bunch of different stuff. He writes fantasy, science fiction. I don't know what to classify this. I guess I could call this as fantasy as well. Modern day fantasy. But still, I think so far, and this is why I'm hoping Martin doesn't procrastinate like he did. I don't know if you're aware of this. He wrote that first book, and it was a big success. It was never designed really to be a true long series like it was. But his second book came out a year after the first one came out. Excuse me, 2 years after the first one came out. And then the third book came 3 years after the second book came out. Fourth book came 4 years after the third book came out.
All right, I did find videos of. I found the videos of what do you call this? Brienne versus Hound. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine what it's going to take him if it takes him freaking 6 years to write the sixth book? HBO will have already done the whole series by that time. Because he's writing the sixth book.
Well, they're going to keep it separate now, so they're more likely they're just going to keep it separate.
No, they're still going to follow the
pattern, yeah, but they're going to have probably, they're going to write differently. So, is he already writing the sixth book?
Yes, he's supposed to be. I'm looking right now. He's got his own website, so I'm looking there and see what comes out in news. The problem with him is like, I I'm gonna write this book, and then I'm gonna be in the middle of writing this next book, and then he'll do like five other books, or he's wrote, comics and graphic novels, and then he'll write, other books, and that's why that's his problem. He's not continuing on with the series. He writes other stuff. And trust me, he's an old gentleman. If you've ever seen his picture, I'm guessing he's in his 60s. Maybe 50s. I don't know exactly how old it is. But I don't think he's going to make it too much longer. He's a big fat dude.
Oh well. Well, he can still write, so should be a while. Just a few more. Just a few more. It's eventually gonna end,
Well, yeah, it has to come to an end, but I just want him to be either.
Sakura?
Oh, sorry, I was
Disappeared.
just looking. No, I'm here. I'm sorry, I was actually reading something.
Okay.
If he's got this all written down, the idea of where he wants to go and the whole thing, and it's able to be continued by another author, that's okay. I can live with that. I was disappointed when Jordan died, and I thought the story was going to die, but they had the whole thing. And if you ever read Wheel of Time, you'll understand that you're reading 600 to 800 page softcover books, and you're 10 books into the series, which is almost about to end, and then the author dies, and you think, damn, there it goes. I never know how this is going to end. I'm the thing that I'm the one who has to know how something's going to end. God damn it! Why can't you just frickin' write? I'm sorry, I get pissed off when I see all this other stuff. He's actually got a little in this. In a new book he's writing, it's called Rogues. He's going to have a Game of Thrones tale chronicling one of the biggest rogues in the entire Ice and Fire saga. I'm
They
trying to
need to
find
make
it.
a. If this was back in the early 2000s to or late 90s, they need to make a PC game strategy, a good old fashioned Warcraft style. What do you call this? Real time strategy game. Game of Thrones. You control a house. You send your armies. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking to see when Winds of Winter is going to be a 6th book.
Okay, Winter. Okay. How long? How many years has it? Feels like it's so long, and it just says winter is coming. Like how many? It's like how long is a year, or is it like winter only happens every few years in that place? Because I know for a fact it's been more than a year.
Yeah, what it is winter there, and it comes from I'm guessing the planets travel around the sun, their star, whether it gets closer along, and it's because it's got an unusual orbit would be how I call it, and that's how I picture it in my head.
I see.
And so, because of its unusual orbit, they've got long summers, which last years and years, but they also get long winters that last, some last a couple years, some last,
So it's a adjusting orbit. Then some planets have that where the orbits would move along with the revolution. Ugh. That would suck.
Yeah, it looks like there's only 2 more books left. Winter and another one, unless something happens. And I'm trying to find out when, at least a year they plan to say it's going to be released. It's going to be 2016, 2017, 2018. I'm not expecting anything in 2015. We're in the middle of 2014, so. I know his last
Every
book,
time they.
I was going to say, A Dance with Dragons was a really short book by Martin. What he normally writes is actually a very short book. Because he had waited so long and was doing so many other things, he couldn't even get all he wanted into the book. He had to get it out for his publisher.
All right, guys, I've got to go. I'll see you guys later.
All right, yeah, I'm out of here myself.
Yep,
I'll just
see you,
check
Chris.
this thing.
Yeah, take care.
Yep.
All right. Night, guys. I got to go too.
Thank you, man. Have a good one.
Later.